Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the NSE Stay-at-Home series. This is it's pretty self-descriptive. Everybody stay at home, have some fun playing Rocket League, some of the best university teams that the UK has to offer, and it's all brought to you here on Rocket Kingdom TV. My name is Drumzors, and I'm joined by my good friend Atch. Atch, how you doing today?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you. I'm excited for what's going to be a lot of good Rocket League. We've got 14 of the top National League teams from last season's NSE in tonight, so we're going to have some great games.
That we are indeed. And we're bringing you the number one game here that we're going to be seeing. It's from this first round. We tried to find a pretty balanced selection, and we're bringing you No U, which is Oxford University versus Derby Raptors. These are two teams that didn't quite have the best showing from last season's from the spring split last season, but probably Oxford has quite a demanding schedule as a university, and
not much time for Rocket League there.
Priorities and all that. And Derby, I know, also had a few attendance issues, but I believe they're playing with their full roster tonight, so this should be a pretty interesting matchup between the two.
Yeah, I really believe it will. I think, there's a lot to be said here for the Oxford team. We've seen a lot more of them, but Derby are coming in as an unknown quantity. Haven't seen that much of them so far this season, so I think they could surprise Oxford here.
That I think they could, and the players have been in the lobby itching to go. I'm itching to go. Let's get our very first game, the inaugural game of the NSE Stay-at-Home series, out of the way. And it is, as we say, No U versus Derby Raptors. Now, a bit of pressure. Haven't really developed yet. Spending a bit of time in the Derby half. Big whiff on defense there. Brad is going to send that over to the wall. And Burb, I can confirm that Burb is not who you think he is. That's Calbomb playing under that name. Probably Oxford's star player. Oh, Willow given a chance there to get one off the backboard. Couldn't quite find the connection on the read. Jake, low on boost, going to try and dribble that over, but swiftly shut down. Bounced up high. Good 50, sends it back across, but straight to Willow. That's a wonderful shot, finding its way to the top corner, and Oxford University strike first blood.
Yeah, Derby started a bit jittery on the defensive side here. They weren't getting quite rotated properly, and they lacked boost, and Oxford capitalised there.
Capitalised that they did. We know that Oxford, when they are playing with their full roster, a lot of people had them down as one of the clearer National League teams of last season. The only mitigating factor, of course, being that Oxford schedule we were talking about.
I wouldn't like it myself.
But of course, a bit more time off at the moment could lead to some good things, but Willow given another chance, just couldn't connect with it. Another one there, given to Newen, and Oxford somehow don't come away with a goal there. Now Bradders going to send that back up, but finds nobody at all. Easy clear for Calbomb and net. I'll keep calling him Burb, actually, just for clarity. Jake, that's not the best touch, but very well recovered. Tries to get that under Willow as well. Manages to leave that for Juiced. Sends it up the line, but with no boost, nobody can be on the end of it. And clinging on to this 1-0 lead now is Oxford Uni.
Yeah, both teams looking a little bit, maybe a little bit cold, not quite warmed up. They're not looking for each other yet. There's a lot of long clears and lofted balls that no one can chase down. Like you say, the boost game not quite there just yet.
That's always going to be the case with first game of a series. Teams just kind of feeling each other out, trying to get a taste of what they can get away with. Burb is going to send that nicely onto the wall. I'll be going for the ceiling shot here, but instead opts for just the center. Jake's going to send that back up the pitch. Clear shut down by Willow, but right up by Juiced. If Newen had been bumped there, that could have been an issue for Oxford. Bradders just finds wide of the goal. Jake is going to send that back into the middle, but playing maybe a bit too far back is Juiced there. Bradders was on the back rotation. Could have developed a passing play, but didn't quite manage to.
Oh my goodness me, Jake will want that one back, I think. Just smashed it off the left post. There was definitely goal to aim at, and Derby could have left it.
Now Juice has control again on the wall. Burb tries to get the pinch, doesn't really have the power. Manages to waste a bit of time there in the Derby half, though. Now Bradders has some space. He's got boost. He's just going to elect for the soft center. That's 2 players baited out there. That's a double commit we shouldn't be seeing from Oxford. Juiced. They send that back into the middle. Another double commit from Oxford. Starting to show some cracks in their defense at the moment, although hasn't really been tested so far.
I think just then, underneath the back boost there, was the first time the teams have stolen boost, and Derby are setting up to really crack down on Oxford here as Juice makes it level 1-1.
There it is. That should not have lingered for as long as it did in front of the Oxford half. Burb just getting caught out by the post bounce, and that's a terrific 50 from Jake. And then Juiced had all the time in the world to get that goal. And 1-1 now, just under 2 minutes left. And this first game, so important for this first series. Because obviously it's just the qualifying round at the moment for tomorrow's final brackets. But every team will be wanting a place in that. They'll be wanting a small chunk of our cash prize at the end of this.
Well, yeah, and we'll be talking about this more as the night goes on, but it's worth mentioning at this point, I think it's the top 12 teams from tonight that will be going through to the upper section of tomorrow's tournament, which means that in a Swiss bracket like this, you want to be winning 4 games to really consolidate your position for tomorrow night.
Absolutely. So it's either win this first game here. Oh, that's a phenomenal save from Jake there, though. Had to throw himself into the net to keep the ball out. Now 50 seconds left on the clock. Jake's going to send that up the field once more. That's bouncing awkwardly for Nguyen, but he sends it nicely over to the wall. Follows it up. Doesn't have the boost to do anything with it. That's going to bounce even further into the Derby half. Willow might be going for the redirect, but can't quite get the angle. Now that's up high. Nicely for Burb. Juiced is backwards to it. Can't quite get the power. Sends it straight over to Willow and Nguyen. Willow beats one. It's going to try and send that to middle, but doesn't get the second hit. That's going to drop softly for Jake. Oh, tried something a bit fancy, but didn't quite pay off. Still a goal needed for either team to take this on.
Yeah, and I mean, as we come into the final 10 seconds, we've barely seen a passing player in this game one. It's been just a lot of solo play attempts and long clears and just challenge after challenge, but teams aren't looking for each other just yet. I think as they warm up, they'll be wanting more passing.
Oh, Jake does well to keep that up. Tries to find Juiced up in the corner, but shut down by Burb. And Willow is just going to send that straight to the floor. It was a danger area, and it's... I think every single game one that we've seen in different streams this week has gone to overtime. It's quite an impressive streak.
It means we did well, Drums, to pitch this as a balanced match.
That we did. Oh, that's almost found its way to an open net, but Jake was just staying patient on the near post. Tries to slowly roll that one into the open net of their own for Oxford. Just end-to-end passes at the moment from either team, but Burb, that's not going to go anywhere helpful. That's going to leave all 3 players on Derby with the chance. The huge flick, but Burb gets the save. Straight back over to Juiced. Gets it under Willow. It's just Nguyen to beat. That's not a convincing clear. Bradder's going to put it on target. Burb can't make the connection. Derby Raptors take game number 1.
And again, you just got to watch here. It's good work from Juiced, but Nguyen, he had Willow off to his left in acres of space, but he just bobbles that ball out, and I don't think Burb was expecting to have to make a save.
Yeah, very well played from Derby. Like you say, a little bit shaky for both teams, as you know, game ones always are. But Derby looking just a little bit more composed. There was less double commits than there were from the no U defense. And although there weren't many passing plays, there was the few that we did see strung together did mostly come from the Derby side. They did.
And I think, you know, like you say, there's definitely nerves and a bit of jitters going on in this game one. We saw a lot of double commits, particularly on the blue side there, but I don't think Derby's defence was completely up to the standard they'd want it to be either, and I think both teams will be looking to create more in offence in the subsequent games.
Well, as all of these series are a best of 5, there's still a bit of wiggle room for either team to make some of these improvements needed. And yeah, it's going to be a long one today, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
All of these, but we've got our second game coming up, and I feel like No U, all they need is a little bit more composure at the back.
Yes.
They just need a tiny bit more communication, a little bit more trust between each other, and they might start catching a slightly confident Derby on some counterattacks.
again, I mean, if Ewan had seen Willow out to his left, then I'm pretty confident there was no one in that Derby net. Willow gets the ball lofted out to him, and he could launch that the length of the pitch. So, like you say, if Oxford look out for each other a bit on defence and play out rather than just launch out, they might get some opportunities.
Well, game two's underway. Jake finds himself with the first bit of control. Almost gets the read off the backboard, but it's going to be sent up to Juiced. Bit of a feels backflip. And there is one of those counter-attack chances. Bradders was caught a little bit far forward. Widow couldn't really do anything with it, though. But he's going to send that... Oh, that's a tragic miss in net. Calburb finds the easy opening goal. Juiced. Oh, you have to feel bad. You feel like he should have had that one.
Yeah, he'll want to have that again, definitely. But plenty of time left on the clock. At least he didn't do that in a crucial overtime. So Derby got plenty of time to set that wrong.
And Jake will tap that one up high. Lots of space being given to him. A bit of respect coming out from the No-You offense now. Maybe got a little bit too overconfident. Obviously coming in as the slightly higher seed in this game. Maybe thinking it would be in the bag, but that game one humbling them a tiny bit. Calbomb is going to send that straight back into the path of Jake. Juiced puts it up high. Jake once again off the backboard. Juiced is lingering there, but can't get to that ahead of Calburb, which it's throwing me off having to call him a different name now. Getting used to that in the first game.
Well, I mean, I was speaking to him, obviously, as the Oxford contact to set this game up, and he said he wouldn't be here. So clearly, maybe the concept of being on stream or the thought of a tight game has convinced him to show up for his team, and he's done very well so far.
Oh, the pinch attempt. Okay, didn't have any boost there. Tried to softly roll it to Willow, and Willow saw that he was near the ball, tried to pinch it to the bottom corner, but couldn't quite find it.
Oh, see, look, that's a good pass.
Oh, that's a great save from Jake as well. Two players out, though. If this one can just get a nice bit of placement, Bradders reads the whiff on his teammate, puts it off the crossbar. Great attempt there for No-You to make it 2-0.
Yeah, and it's promising for them going forward as well, as they're looking for each other a lot more. That lofted pass up to Willow is fantastic.
Up the wall. Curve bounce is going to be nice there for Derby. Bradders may be thinking about the fake, but pulls out at the last second. It's going to leave just Willow. Nice centre and good guarding of the ball to Nguyen. Stopped anyone from getting to that clear ahead of him. Bradders, though, is going to beat one. Nguyen with the quick turn on the wall. Gets it around him. Very quick play on defense there. Jake off the backboard. But Calburb, just a slow roller. Straight back into Derby possession.
Yeah, yet again, Calbomb had options, and it's going to cost them here as Jake levels the scores. Oxford getting caught on shoddy clears again.
Yeah, I think the clears are definitely leaving a little bit to be desired at the moment, but Jake, that's just good speed, getting there way ahead of Willow. That maybe pushing up a little bit too greedily as that third man, or not realizing that he was the third man. But just a fantastic banger into the open net for Jake. Levels the playing field exactly halfway into the game. And now Oxford might have to come out of this with a burst of speed, almost finding an open good shot there for Nguyen. Now Bradders, a little bit over the flip zone, just pushes away from it. That's a huge save from Jake. Calburb, that dangerous striker, is going to be the one who you want someone on the end of the shots for. Bradders tries to get the double tap. Calburb once again puts another one on net, but Juiced is there early. Now Nguyen tries to get that into the middle. Bradders, that's not a convincing touch. That's going to leave a wide open net. Willow puts it really high, tries to go for the double, but big save once again from Juiced. And Derby are just clinging on at the moment.
They are, but Oxford, I think, are slightly overextended here. They might have to turn back the boost, particularly after that. Jake's going to push forward with this now.
Calburb straight over to the corner. Bounce almost catches off Bradders, who would have liked to have followed that, but couldn't really get a comfy landing. Once again, Willow's caught out, and then goes down by Jake. He's going to send that to the middle, but nobody can be on the end of it. Two players were there for Derby. Bradders is going to look to slowly control this. Oh, that's an awkward one, though. That's all three players scrambling there for Derby, but Bradders, great recovery. Sends that straight back to Calburb, though. And Juice tries to... gets the intercept in front of Willow. Jake. Slow one into the middle. Juice is going to follow that up. Tries to get a good 50 onto Calburb. Does so. Calburb with no boost isn't really going to be able to pressure this a whole lot. And Derby, I've got to say...
Nguyen!
Oh, Nguyen! Oh, dear. You hate to see it. The feels backflip, man, in such a key situation. That's tragic.
Really is, and I mean, Oxford have played well this game, but it's definitely Calbon having most of the ideas, you know, particularly on offense. He's the one looking for things and getting demos and really setting up all of this Oxford play, and I think they need a bit more team play here, a bit of a more even contribution from the other two.
Big demo on Calburb from Calburb. Keeper in net. It's going to give Willow a little shot chance to bottom corner, but nicely blocked. That's a good drop down, but Bradders is waiting in net. Nguyen, hasty push up, tries to find the demo. Leaves 2 players on the back rotation there for Oxford. Calburb is going to get the long clear and the dunk as well. My goodness, what a goal from Calburb.
Yeah, he's not letting this one go with that fight. It's fantastic. Pushed the ball maybe a little further than he would have liked to begin with, but trails it excellently and makes sure he's there to make the read on the Derby defender.
2-2, just 18 seconds left on the clock. This could be going towards a second overtime. And you have to feel like, I mean, it's do or die in that situation for Oxford, as Jake almost finds a lovely aerial play into the net. Willow shuts down the follow-up from Bradders. Juice tries to tap it over Nguyen. That's going to leave a shot chance for Calburb. It's dropping dangerously, but Jake sends it to the floor. Second overtime for Derby and Oxford.
Yeah, these teams really neck and neck so far, and just one big play from either side could really light up the series, but so could a big mistake. Calburb capitalises just 8 seconds in, and that's it. 2-0 to Oxford.
Well, 1-1.
Is it 1-1?
It's 1-1, yeah.
I can't count. Oxford have taken it back. Calburb's left.
Yeah, you may have noticed Calburb leaving immediately after the end of that game. He, I think his exact words were, need to get food. So wow. I think we expected this. I think No You might be bringing in a sub here for their the remainder of the games of this series, and that could kind of damage them because, I mean, they're playing with Nguyen, who is already a sub, yeah, not playing with their full roster, and now losing probably that star player of theirs, which is Calbon.
Yeah,
it's not looking good at this point for No You, despite the fact they've just taken that equalizing game. They still need 2 more on top of a ever increasingly strong-looking Derby side.
Yeah, I mean, I think I must have misinterpreted. We were talking to Calbon before. He said he'd have to leave after game 2. I was thinking he meant round 2, but having left at this point in the series, that's going to really put a dent in this Oxford side. Although, of course, we have seen substitutions in the past, even if they're not, you know, equivalent in terms of individual skill, can throw off other teams in terms of the new challenges that it presents. So Derby will have to adjust slightly here.
I mean, if anything, the most recent season of RLCS has shown that substitutes can really bring out the best in certain teams.
Definitely, and even when they're not of the same caliber, you know, we saw, was it Arju cleaning up for Mouse in the last weekend? And, you know, you never know.
You never know.
We might have our own Arju on our hands here.
But we've lost Calburb /Calbon /Burb. Any one of those names, we've lost him in favour of Not That Chrome. Obviously, didn't want to draw comparisons to that Chrome. But now, good start for him. Tries to get the ball over Bradders. Bradders going to set it high into the corner. That's dear. 2 misses from the Oxford defenders. Yeah. And just a simple clean-up job for Jake. 1-0, easily in favour of Derby.
Yeah, not the start you'd want as your new team struggles to set into its rotation. But, again, it's the same as Derby was in the position of this last game. At least you've made the mistake with plenty of time left on the clock.
That they have. Now Willow is going to find a good clear there over Jake. But good speed from Juiced to intercept that continuing play. Willow's going to get there nice and high. It's big send back from Bradders. Chrome sat just on the front post. Couldn't get to it in time. Juiced going to drop that to middle. But Jake with the side flip. Difficult ball to get to. Even 50 between Willow and Bradders. Now, just slightly down the line, Chrome sends it up a little bit high, but only to a waiting Jake. Now, Willow on the backboard. You send that back to Bradders. And I must say, it's looking a lot stronger now for Derby. This change has really favored them in how they can hold this pressure. Chrome up the field, but once again, nobody there. Jake is going to send that onto the wall. Loses the flip, can't really follow that, but might go for the bump here. Nguyen does well to dodge. Bradders sends it up to the corner. Chrome Court pushing up a little bit forward. Now Jake is going to get a nice shot chance just below the crossbar. No keeper can get to that one. 2-0 for Derby Raptors.
Yeah, that was well placed from Jake, but Oxford again, their own worst enemy, trying to push the ball out of defence. They're still not looking for each other, and you're right, this absence of Calbom is really starting to hurt them here.
It's a great kickoff from Bradders. That's going to send pressure pretty much immediately back to where it was. Juiced. One's chopping just off the backboard. Straight over to Bradders. That's an awkward one for every scrambling No-U defender. Jake sends it back high up off the corner. Willow can't really get to that. It's just Chrome. Jumps way too early. It's going to send that straight back to Juice. That's a soft ball. Almost a pinch between the defenders. Just came off the crossbar. This is looking shaky at best from Oxford at the moment.
Yeah, and Bradders is starting to notice that now, going for demos off the defense, really slowing them down. There's empty net, but Juice couldn't quite slot it into the small part on the left hand.
Willow, good control, but shut down by Bradders, who, like you say, is smelling blood. He's looking for a lot more of these demo plays, just looking for as much disruption as possible on an already disrupted defense. Willow, good control on the backboard. It's bouncing not where he wants it to, though. Bradders was again looking around in net, but that's an overcommit, if anything. This is bouncing awkwardly back towards the middle. Chrome's up first. Bradders sends it to the post. It's not in on the counter-attack for No-U. And now it's No-U. Got to be wary of that overcommitting. But still 2-0 the scoreline here between these two teams.
Oh, this is much better from Derby. They're looking like they know what they're doing, and Juice has put them 3-0 up. 2 minutes to go. Doesn't look good for the boys in blue.
That's a lovely passing play between all three of the players. It was a good shutdown, but Nguyen didn't know where to be after that 50. Stayed in front of net. Getting a little bit too antsy, I think, as that third man.
Yeah.
And now 3-0, 2 minutes left, and pretty much no Oxford to be seen. Although Nguyen takes two players out of the way. Bradders is going to put one on target, but Willow just manages to clear it away. Once again, it finds its way to the last man in Nguyen. Shot down again by Bradders. Pinches it off the top. Jake's up nice and quick. That's two players out again for Oxford. Nguyen's getting bumped by Jake in net. And now another counter-attack chance. Chrome's pushed up nice and early. Tries to get the tap, but Jake reads it. Shuts it down before it can happen. And just nothing at all convincing happening from Oxford right now.
And again, it's their own demise that's the problem. They're just setting up so badly on clears. They don't get the ball out into the right positions at all, and then none of them can get any boost. Derby are beginning to notice it now, and they'll really capitalise on it as the series progresses.
Good 50 from Jake there. Sends that to a lot of space. Willow up high. But again, it's just dropping to a waiting defender.
Again.
Completely boostless, just gives the ball away. Jake tries to find the backboard play, but Nguyen reads it, gets up nice and quick. Bradders going to send that. That's so much time being wasted just by an awkward play there. Bradders almost finds the open shot and just had good opportunity, but it was a little too fast for him to get to. Chrome sends it to Willow on the corner, but neither player following it up. And this ball is just living in the Oxford half at the moment.
It really is, and I don't think Oxford have got one of their own back boosts in the last 30 seconds. Derby are really clamping down at the minute.
Oh, it's a good double tap attempt from Jake, but fantastic shutdown. I think that was from Nguyen. It's just to get rid of that one before it starts. Bradders puts another one just off the crossbar. And Willow, another good counter-attack. But Derby can just see it coming. They're shutting it down as soon as they see it. Bradders was up quickly. Gets it over Nguyen. That's an interesting touch from Jake, but somehow read by the Oxford defender. And with this ball just dropping down, it is Derby who will take match point in convincing fashion in this game number 3.
Yeah, Oxford really missed Calbom then. But I hope he can eat his dinner in 7 minutes, because I don't see this game 4 going very well for them, so they'll want him back quickly. Or provided that's not going to happen, which I think is unlikely, they just need to work on those clears. Every time they've had the ball in defense, they've had more time than they've realized, and they've just launched it into the middle of nowhere, often just and it's really not going to help that this Derby Raptors side are knocking up 4 shots each every game.
Yeah. I mean, I think last game they finished with 2 shots each. So
clears, they're just being fed.
Mathematically, that's twice as much offense as they had last game.
What did you study, John? Was it maths?
It was maths, yeah.
Oh,
how could you tell?
Well.
But yeah, Derby putting on more and more of a convincing performance as time goes on. And it's deserved, I think, that second win. They mastered just the disruption, going for the demos, going for those boost steals in offense, like you were saying. And Oxford just not getting a chance to breathe, really.
Not at all. As you can see, Chrome had 1 shot, and that was it for the entire blue side that game. And I mean, you know, something's going to have to give, because if you're being outshot 12-1, the odds of you winning are incredibly slim.
That they are. Now a lot of work to be done from this Oxford side. 2 games in a row needed now. And it started off a little bit on their side now, but sent straight back by Bradders. Chrome is going to get the block, but only to Juiced, and
again,
big double commit.
This is what's holding this Oxford side back. They're, you know, they can play like the big boys at any time they want, but it's the clears. You know, the top teams that we see in NSE, even if they get a double commit, the touch is solid enough that it goes a long way and they have time to reset, or they've found someone else on the clear and they've got a passing play out. This Oxford side just haven't managed to get that working so far.
That's a huge pinch, though. That's going to send it straight back into space, but Juiced recognizes the danger, and with a nice wide back rotation, manages to get a big clear. Now Chrome just beaten in the air. That's not the best clear from Nguyen. That's going to give space to Bradders. And Jake's waiting there on the side. Had to respect the redirect attempt. Willow now boostless. Can only get the 50. And Juiced is waiting there as well. But that's nothing but a center straight back to Chrome. But Chrome just sends it straight back to Jake. Now, over a minute and still no goal here between the 2 teams, which is better than we saw from last game from Oxford.
It is, but it's not looking promising still. They're just launching clears out into the middle of nowhere, and you just saw, I mean, the 1 clear that Derby had is probably better than any clear Oxford had done in the last 2 games. Juice just launched it down, knew there was going to be someone to chase it down, and it's really going to cost Oxford if they can't do the same.
You can tell that they're feeling a bit more confident now, Derby. They're starting to string together some of these inventive plays. They're going for the pinch there in the corner. Bradders has the dribble. Nguyen is awkward there, almost gets read by Jake in the air. And now Juiced, that 3rd man, sends the pinch. Nobody's ready for it. Willow had to make a fast turn and save, but he did so. And then the center is unchallenged by any of the Oxford defenders. Bradders sent flying, though. That's a big clear from Willow. Bradders, 2 players up there from Derby. That's going to leave Nguyen. Possession on the wall, sends it middle. Chrome's waiting, can't make the connection. Would have been a good first goal from Oxford. Now, we're seeing what we've missed last game. We're seeing some of that pressure coming out from this no-you Oxford side.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the best thing we've seen from them in a couple of games, but they'll need something a bit better. Nguyen might have supplied it, but Jake's equal to it on the defense.
It's the best chance we've seen in about 7 minutes of Rocket League from this team. Juiced. Gonna try and set up some pressure again. Almost finds the dunk onto the 2 players there from No U. Chrome sends it straight back to Bradders. Now 2 players up once again for Derby. This could be a good chance if Willow can get it back into the middle or on target, but nobody there in the middle. Chrome sends it into space. It's going to waste a bit of time. Jake sends it up to Juiced on the wall. He's going to dribble that down. Gets a big flick over the middle. It's an awkward jump from Willow. Bradders is waiting, and that's going to find its way to top corner. And Derby finally strike first.
Yeah, it took them a while, but it did look like they were always going to be the first team to score, and Bradders does it in style with a brilliant shot to the top left.
Yeah, a little bit of direction, a little bit of placement, a little bit of power. It had everything. And that's a massive kickoff win from Juiced. Almost found its way. Sneaking below the crossbar. Chrome gets a bit smoke screened. Can't really do anything with this ball. And then a bit of a scrabbling mess between the two teams. Hang on, that pinch. Oh, I thought it was sailing its way to the top corner, but it was just above. Jake baits out 2 with the flick. Willow, though, that's a great touch. Nguyen, there already. He's following despite having no boost. Jake sent it up high. Can't really follow that himself for the same reason. Enormous dunk from Bradders, but again, it's off the crossbar. This man has found the bar quite a lot over the course of this series.
Yeah, but as time ticks down, Derby aren't going to care whether they're hitting the bar or not. They just want the ball to stay in the Oxford half.
Well, that's a lovely pass from Willow, though. Straight back over to Chrome. Nguyen's pushing up, though. I know they need a goal, but they have to respect these counterattacks from Derby still. Gets the block onto Juiced. 2 players sitting wide back for Derby. Bradders is going to be up quick. Going to get the shot attempt. But bounce, not very kind. Nguyen beats 1. Willow sends it to the wall. Bradders is going to be there first and is just going to hoof that back onto the backboard. Nice touch from Chrome, though. He's going to relieve that pressure before it can start. Willow's going to look for another one. 30 seconds left on the clock. They need to find a goal now to stay alive in this series, or else they'll have to win 4 straight series in a row to be guaranteed. And that's a free net there for Bradders. 2-0 for Derby, and it's looking like good night to Oxford in this series.
Yeah, it's a shame. Did look like it was going to be a very tense one at the start, but they've really felt Calbom's departure as the series went on, and they've just not managed to get any offensive pressure going. So Derby deserved winners, I think, here, and they look like they'll do it in 4.
Yeah, they've really warmed up to this pressure that they've been keeping Oxford under. Oxford couldn't really figure out how to get rid of it. And 10 seconds left on the clock. One attack finding its way back into the Derby half, but that shutdown from Bradders is going to all but guarantee it. Derby take down Know You Oxford, the higher seed in this matchup, and go through to the second series with a win under their belt.
Yeah, and I mean, like we were saying at the very beginning, it's in a Swiss bracket. The games are only going to get harder for these teams, and Oxford, if they want to start winning, they're going to have to start doing it soon, because that is really the one loss that they're allowed if they want to ensure qualification into the top 12.
Yeah, hopefully when Calbom said that he was off after that game, it was only for a game or 2. So if they can bring him back with into their second series, third series, then I think they should have a pretty good chance, because they were gaining some steam just as Derby were. So it all depends on whether or not they can bring that back, or bring him back, I should say.
Yeah, and I mean, it did look promising at times. They just need to work on those clears, get looking for each other to push out of defence together rather than just launching the ball into the middle of nowhere. And if they do that, that Derby team would have been caught out numerous times on the back rotation.
Indeed. But as that concludes our first series, quite a good series it was. I think we're going to go to a short break now, if I'm not mistaken.
I do believe so.
We'll be right back after that with, I think, Lincoln versus Kiel.
I do believe so. Should be a good one.
It should be a good one. Storied matchup there, but see you soon.
into the night. The city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Open your eyes and see the people chanting, slowly falling apart. The silence causing an earthquake. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling higher, and I know I can be taller. Shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on.
dancing. It's like giving up before you begin. Stars were dancing in their line, paths that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in their line, the future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry, it was bone dry. Thought another goal is all we needed. Taking second chances, still we bleed. And when all the love had been depleted, we had but no choice to concede. As the stars were dancing in their line, paths that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in their line, the future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry, it was bone dry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the NSE Stay at Home series, brought to you here on Rocket Kingdom TV. We've just witnessed a pretty back and forth series between Derby Raptors and Know You, Oxford University. And ultimately, Derby Raptors came away as the victors there. And we were a bit ahead of ourselves with what game we were going to be seeing here.
We were.
In this second series, because there's been a bit of an upset in the first round. Can you tell us more about it, Dutch?
Well, yes, we confidently told you that Link Up would be facing Kiel in round 2 because it was only Cheese Masters, the Newcastle C team. What could possibly go wrong? But with Dax on their side and Greg, of course, the Cheese Masters seem to have done quite well for themselves, and here they are. So we'll be seeing them face off against Kiel in the second round.
Yeah, the only series that went to Game 5 in round number 1 was that Link Up, so University of Lincoln versus Cheese Masters from Newcastle, and Cheese Masters coming away with the win. But they've got a tough, really tough game here in KPA from Kiel Uni, because I mean they're not playing with K3 Kiel, who is that incredibly aggressive forward player. They're playing instead with Time Constant, who probably, I think, the lead player from the second team. Mm-hmm. But they're still playing with Poddy and Satsuma, who in themselves, they've got a lot of duo synergy, and they can pretty much adapt to any role the team needs them to.
We saw them do very well in the Challenger bracket just a couple of weeks gone by, and without K3, it'll be a different Kiel, but I don't think it'll be a Kiel that's going to be struggling as much as Oxford did without Calvin in that first round.
Yeah, it would still be a Kiel side that I would expect to come away on top here. But Cheese Masters have already proved me wrong once.
They have.
Let's see if they can do it twice. We are underway here with KPA Kiel versus the Cheese Masters from Newcastle. And Poddy already getting a good first chance. Rolling back over to Time Constant, tries to put a shot on target, but demoed by Ben. And big pinch, gets that over Satsuma. The pop over from Ben as well. That's just Poddy left at the back, but Poddy takes it to the corner. Gets a nice flick over 1. Gets a nice pop over 2. And Greg is just left hanging, but gets the save on the shot from Time Constant. Satsuma has to go off the backboard, and the drop down is off the bar. Now Daxaru has the flick. It's big, but Time Constant, nicely rotated, gets that clear before it can happen. And Poddy sends it up the field. Time Constant's there already. And just end-to-end shots being traded from both teams here.
Already we can see that it's an absolute cut above what we saw in the first round. This team, both sides in fact, really finding each other on clears already. Only a minute gone. You can tell these teams are warmed up more than the first round match.
Yeah, it's very evident. And Satsuma, just a bit of a whiff there, and the demo on Time Constant, that's going to leave an open net, but the ball bouncing awkwardly left for Ben, but that's not a convincing shot. Poddy is going to have control now. Tries to get it to middle, and a counter demo there from Time Constant, enormous, takes out Daxawu in net, and just over a minute in, Kiel take the lead.
Yeah, it was fantastic awareness, heads-up play there from Time Constant to realise only one Newcastle defender back. Bit of an over push maybe in the other direction to get that shot that didn't work out, and it will cost them here.
Yeah, good start so far from Kiel, but Cheese Masters not exactly looking like a B team at the moment. Time Constant sends that into the middle. Poddy just manages to tip it to the side. Satsuma puts it off the corner, but Ben is nice and patient. Doesn't get the connection though. And now Greg has to waste a bit of time here for his teammates to get organised. Can't do so. Daxaru forced to make an awkward tap to the side. But Ben, good speed, good awareness, gets it up the wall. Poddy, the curve, helps that clear along. That's a lovely shot from Daxaru though. But nicely blocked by Satsuma, who now carries along with it on the wall. Ben gets the shot on. Poddy's waiting in net. And dribbles it up the pitch. Greg takes that to the side. Big hit from Time Constant. It's going to be an awkward one for Ben to deal with. That's going to leave a free shot for Satsuma, who places that perfectly into the bottom corner. Kiel take a second.
That's fantastic work there from Satsuma. Saw Dax had slowed right down, so called his bluff and put it to the post that he was facing, and he just wasn't quick enough to deal with a shot that far.
Yeah, it's convincing stuff so far from Kiel. We're seeing none of the defensive mistakes that were evident in that first series. Like you say, they've started warm. They're looking coordinated. They're looking just trusting. They're looking like a team. Time Constant sends a low one, hoping to find a bit of room under the defenders. Satsuma tried to take it up the wall, but Ben shuts that down early. Now Poddy almost gets the pop chance. Daxaru he's going to find an open net there, but Satsuma on the back rotation makes a lovely clutch save. And a good chance there for the Cheesemasters, shut down nicely by the Kiel defense.
Yeah, you're right. This Kiel team look like the much more cohesive unit at the moment, while the Newcastle players have really all had a good go at some mechanical flair. They're not finding each other as consistently as the boys in blue at the moment, and it's showing so far in Game 1.
Yeah, I noticed that it's Poddy and Satsuma that are doing the majority of the lifting up in offense. They're leaving Time Constant as that third quite a bit. Do you reckon that could catch them out at any time?
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of Time Constant to really say for sure. I think, obviously, it's difficult to know, isn't it? Because often when a team plays as a sub, you have a decision to make. You want to either send your sub up in offense and risk not scoring as much, or have your main players do all the offense and just hope you score more. But at the moment, Time Constant's doing a fantastic job because Kiel haven't even conceded.
That is true. They've had the majority of the offensive pressure as well. 8 shots to a mere 3 from the Cheesemasters. They haven't had to do a lot of defensive work either. Just shutting those plays down before they can develop. Now Ben, weak clear to the middle. Poddy's going to get that first. But big block from Greg. That's going to catch out 2 players. The first double commit we've really seen from Kiel. This could be costly, but Satsuma stays low on the 50. It's an awkward tap from Ben. If Time Constant can get there first, the 50, difficult for Ben to deal with, and Daxro is boostless. He can only tap that straight back to another Kiel player. Poddy with the fake challenge. Gets that nicely away. Greg, with 0 boost, can only get the block. It's up the corner. 35 seconds left. And with a bit of offensive pressure, Cheesemasters need to capitalize on something right now.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've had some good moments so far in this Game 1, but Kiel have never really looked like they were scrambling for anything, and they've been solid on both sides of the ball, and I've cursed them profusely, for which I can only apologise.
I mean, it's a lovely play there from Greg. Just catches that Satsuma. Thought he had a lot more time on that, was trying to maybe set up an air dribble, or just maybe thought he had to block a high shot. But lovely awareness of what the opponents are doing from Greg. And that's 1 goal. But Poddy looking to make that another one needed. Time Constant is going to be there with the follow-up. And just an immediate response from Kiel.
A fantastic read from Poddy to realise, because that was so close to the waterfall side in the top of the stadium there, but Poddy realised that wasn't going to come down as fast as some might have thought, and he got there first and set up Time Constant brilliantly.
And yeah, talking about shot difference, as this game winds down, Kiel with an enormous 13 shots to a mere 5 from the Cheesemasters. Are they being pushed back just way too much? Because it looked like they had a few chances there, the Cheesemasters, but the only really convincing attempt was the one that went in. What more do you think they could be doing?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell. That Kiel side that we saw in that first game presented just such a completely flawless armour there on defence. They had, like you say, almost 3 times the shots, while also maintaining complete defensive control. And I don't know what they'd have to do. I think really they're going to have to try something quite radically different on the side of the Cheesemasters. Perhaps some demos or some change in rotation somehow to just disrupt this Kiel side, because everything they've thrown at them so far has just been pushed straight back.
That it has. It's been a convincing first game from KPA. And, I mean, teams, they've only played, I think, well, Cheesemasters have played more so far. They've played a 5-game series as opposed to, I think, Kiel's 3-game first series. So Kiel still could have a bit of warming up to do. And that's kind of a scary thought if you're Cheesemasters.
It really is. I mean, you know, if you're Cheesemasters going into this game, you'll be going, oh, no K3. That's nice. That's nice. Time Constant's at the top of that leaderboard, but 7 shots from that net then. A lot of them maybe just, lofted clears, a good couple, weren't targeted with any power, but he got the deciding goal, and he's played fantastically well as a replacement here.
It's strange that Time Constant should be the shot leader for that game, as we say, it kind of felt like he was just sitting back as that third man the whole time. So
Right.
it's confusing to see that on the leaderboard, but nobody on the kickoff there from Kiel to begin with. That's going to live the first chance, and 6 seconds in, Greg finds the opener for the Cheese Masters.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely fantastic work to capitalise, but Kiel will be a little upset there, I think. Someone saying having maybe some ping issues or something like that, Satsuma's saying, but seems to have ironed itself out now, and again, early on in the game, so there's plenty of time to take it back.
I just want to throw a quick nod also to the fact that with a team named like Cheese Masters, 2 of the players are called just Ben and Greg. It really... Oh, that's a great attempt there from Ben after Daxaru. Time Constant.
Great pass.
Oh, couldn't connect with that one though. There were no keepers in any kind of convincing position in the Kiel net. And Satsuma's going to try and get a counter-attack on the go. Daxaru, nice control though. Takes it away from the Kiel possession. Body. Finds only Ben, who sends it to the corner. The 50 is going to be good there between... back to the Kiel half. Satsuma gets rid of Daxaru. Can't get the hit again though. Ben might have a follow-up here, but the landing was a little bit awkward. And this looks a tiny bit scrabbly now from the Kiel defense. Almost an open net being found there from the pinch. And yeah, we're seeing almost the reverse of last game. No convincing efforts yet from Kiel.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I was saying in break between these games that this Kiel side have looked very good and not panicked at all on defense, but it seems like when they do get flustered, they're really getting quite agitated on this defensive side, and they've really pushed up here, and it might cost.
Oh, and it really is. Time Constant just panicked, didn't know what to do with that ball. As everyone was on the back rotation there for Kiel, he let Greg have a free shot, and Greg does not squander it. 2-0 now. 6 shots for the Cheese Masters, more than they've had all of last game, and still a big fat 0 for Kiel.
Yeah, and I mean, still plenty of time left on the clock, but you're right, something's going to have to change. That might be it from Time Constant, makes it very awkward for the Cheese defense.
Sends it off the corner. He's going to be able to follow up that hit, but Daxaru just manages to get there first, off the crossbar. Now Poddy. Caught a little bit far up the field. That's going to leave a good shot chance for Greg. Tries to get the dunk, but Satsuma gets it around him. Poddy with control. Sends up the shot. Satsuma tries to find the dunk on Daxaru. But Daxaru, again, too quick. And Kiel suddenly looking like they're struggling to match the speed coming out from this, Daxaru, this A-team player from Newcastle, coming down to the B-team.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks to me... I won't say anything.
That's a cheeky shot from Time Constant. That's so rude. Everyone was pre-jumping that. Thought he had a banger, but it's just a slow one to the bottom corner. That's a lovely opener for Kiel this game. And with more than half the game left, they're back to within 1.
They are. And what I was about to say, I think it does still stand mostly, even though I was slightly cut off by Kiel proving me wrong and scoring, is that in this game too, they've not got the boost game sorted. They've just been lacking boost. We saw in game 1 a couple of times Dax on the back rotation with nothing, and that was costing Newcastle on numerous occasions, but this time they seem to have set up a bit better, and it seems to be working out for them in the first half of this game too.
Sorry, I thought your point was going to be cut off once again by that goal. It was a lovely little angle from Daxaru into the top corner. Time Constant has control. Can only find the pinching 50 though. Poddy tries to send it hard up the field, but Ben gets in the way. Greg's going to send it to a waiting Daxaru in the middle. It's up off the backboard. Nobody's met it. Oh, he couldn't find the second touch. It was such a good setup. Now this one. Awkward for Time Constant, but what a turn. What a recovery. Now he's got the shot chance again. Greg has control on the wall. Oh, there's nobody in net there for that one. Satsuma finds a free one for Kiel.
Yeah, I'll be counting as lucky stars after that one. Not sure that's what he was intending, but we can give him benefit of the doubt as that one sneaks in at the near post. And As Princey would say if he were here, it doesn't matter how you score them, we take those. And with just under 2 minutes left, Kiel are back within 1.
He is a fan of a we take those. But, I mean, Cheesemaster's almost found one in return. Poddy's caught sleeping a little bit as that third man. And Daxaru tries to find one in the bottom corner. Greg was up nice and quick. Ben got the demo on time constant at the back. Oh, but that is gorgeous play from Poddy. That has just dismantled the minds of the Cheesemasters players.
I mean, it pretty much dismantled mine, even watching it from his view, which obviously conveys a lot more information than Cheesemasters had. I didn't think Poddy was going to make it back with as little boost as he did, and to do so quickly as well. Fantastic work to level the game.
See, it's interesting now. The shot difference between the two teams is still pretty large. Only 5 shots in favor of Kiel, but 3 of them have been goals, as opposed to the 9 from Cheesemasters. And I have to say, Kiel, they're just looking a lot more consistent now. Maybe they got caught a little bit off guard, but that's another free one for Poddy.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we've talked a lot about time constant and Kiel's playing with a sub, but of course this Newcastle team aren't used to playing with each other either, and I think that double commit highlighted the fact that perhaps this Newcastle team will suffer from consistency issues, as you were mentioning.
Well, now they find themselves, after going up 3-1, they now find themselves 4-3 on the back foot, and that is not convincing in defence from them, but they've managed to get the shot away for now. Daxaru gets a fake out of Poddy. Maybe he was waiting for the hit down. Greg can only tap that to Ben in the middle. Satsuma's going to send that up the field. Poddy has some space on this, manages to get a lot more power than he should. And what has gone wrong there in the Cheesemasters defense?
Well, if they're thinking anything like I am, that ball's going straight back to where it came from. And instead, Poddy just lasers it. I mean, laser is perhaps a bit generous. Only 72 kph, and Newcastle think they can do a bit better with them.
More of a lazy than a laser. But that's a quick response from Daxaru. Ignore my terrible joke. Straight off the kickoff, he reads that bounce and finds it just under the crossbar. Lovely shot from him.
Absolutely perfect placement, but they still need one more, and it's just under a minute left. So Kiel haven't found the defensive capabilities. They regained their offense in the second half of this game, but they still haven't looked completely confident on defense like they did in game 1. They'll be looking for that as the 30-second mark approaches.
And it all came down to Poddy there to get rid of that shot before it happened. But, I mean, time constant.
There we go.
4 saves to his name. He was stepping up as the shot master last game. Now he's the save master this game. But it's not a convincing touch from Poddy. Just catches Satsuma as well on the back rotation. But time constant sends a huge clear to an awkward Daxaru in net. Daxaru can only tap that to Poddy. Poddy off the backboard. Satsuma's jumped as well. Oh, it's almost in off the top corner. But now, a really awkward situation. Time constant, well played to back up and match that. It's still high in their half, though. That's 2 players up, and it's tapped down. 2-0 now to Kiel, and well played, I have to say, from that sub, time constant.
Again, top of the leaderboard, and not by small margin. I mean, you know, he's come into this team very well, and we know that Kiel do play sometimes a bit more like a 4-man team. You know, time constant certainly not his first time up with the big boys here. He's played with them before, but to be outscoring your teammates in a situation like this, I mean, he's done fantastically well to slot in here.
That he has. And Kiel, they really switched up the playstyle towards the end of that game. Like I say, they were 3-1 down when it came to about the halfway mark. And they only had, I think, 2 shots to their entire team. Now they end the game with 10 shots. They really channeled a bit of their missing player K3 there. And although it was a bit more dicey than the last game, I'd say they really deserve the win in this one.
They did, just to have really the mental, you know, fortitude to come back. They were 3-1 down, and it really looked a bit shoddy in the opening couple of minutes from the Kiel boys there, but they really turned it around and did fantastically well, like you say, with the clinical shooting. I mean, you pointed it out at the time in the game. There was a point where they were shooting 60%. It's not something you see at this level very often.
It is not at all, and I have to feel like they've got a lot more of the momentum here. They're going to be coming into this feeling good, feeling confident, and feeling fast. But it's No lives left in this series now for the Cheese Masters.
Well, Dax doesn't seem too worried about it. He's calling a reverse sweep in the chat, but whether that'll happen, I think will depend more on if Kiel can keep it up, because if Kiel are going to play like they did in Game 1, I don't see that this Cheese Masters side have any choice.
I mean, if it is going to happen, then Dax is going to be the player that makes it happen. That, like I say, that A-team player coming down here to the B team. He's doing all the work in defense at the moment. But Kiel starting off with some strong offense. Poddy somehow finds the double on that very fast ball, but couldn't keep it under control. Time constant. Gonna send one straight back down. Pinch. Daxer only finds Poddy. Time constant thought he had to read the clear there off the backboard, but Greg, maybe a little bit smartly, leaves that. Now Daxer bumped in net. Poddy can't do anything with it though. Greg, tap, finds Ben on the wall, but Ben doesn't find the ball. Greg's gonna get there again, but blocked once again by Time Constant. He's gonna stay behind this, but Daxeru just puts a shot on target. Satsuma has all day to get to it. And now Ben. 50 on the wall. It's looking better now this game though, from the Cheese Masters. That was awkward from Time Constant. Just managed to get the save. And we could see Cheese Masters finding the opening goal soon.
But look at this play from Kiel. They're just, I mean, you saw in the first minute there, they had an absolute chokehold in the Newcastle half. Got 3, maybe 4 of their back boosts in a row. And they look like they're doing the same again here.
Nearly happened. But big bump onto Daxeru. Ben's going to get the free clear, but not really a convincing one. Poddy was just waiting there for it. Finds the hit again, but not on target. Now Dax, read by Satsuma. A little bit of a scrappy play on the corner there between the two players. Greg shuts down the clear. Poddy keeps finding these backboard hits. Almost gets another double tap. But so far, nothing coming of them. And now the demos are coming out from Kiel. And I think this might be another playstyle switch up. Just this full-on aggression that we've seen from Kiel a few times before.
Yeah, and I mean, it's impressive, you know? You see a lot of teams just, they find something that works, and they'll just repeat it. But Kiel seem aware that, you know, a Newcastle team of this caliber aren't just going to sit there and have the same thing happen to them 3 times. So they're changing up their playstyle before they need to keep ahead, and it's fantastic so far.
Yeah, that's something that's so important in Rocket League is adaptivity, is being able to change your playstyle to counter the opponents. And Kiel is just showing off why it's so important here, as that's a big defensive mishap there from the Cheese Masters, and Time Constant once again opens up the scoreline.
Yeah, Dax very fast to skip that replay, and I blame him on that one again, but still plenty of time left on the clock if his reverse sweep is to happen.
Yeah, just 1 goal. It's not a big deficit, but it's going to feel like a mountain to climb for the Cheese Masters, and it could very quickly turn into 2. Great block there from Greg on Satsuma's shot. Poddy gets demoed. This could be the counter-attack now. Dax has boost. He sends it up high. Time constant, though. Great meat on that in the air. Greg sent flying past the ball with that whiff. And now the counter-attack for Kiel. That's 2 players up. Daxeru with the miss. Greg almost got faked out by it, and that's going to be a free one there for Satsuma, but it hits the bar twice before going down, and it's still lingering in front of their box. Finally, Greg has a bit of possession and gets rid of that attack from Kiel that looked oh so dangerous.
Yeah, but they're going to stock up and come back again because Newcastle didn't quite get pushed up far enough to take control of any boost, although Dax seems to have enough. Satsuma does very well.
It's high up there. Greg couldn't connect with it. Daxeru somehow kept that almost low enough to be a shot. I don't know how he's found that angle there. Ben takes Time Constant out the play. And the 50 from Greg takes Satsuma out. And that's awkward rotations there. I think Satsuma was blocking Poddy a little bit. This could be dangerous now. Satsuma with no boost. Can't do anything with that ball. Tries to find the block on Greg. Greg can only send it to Poddy, who takes 2 out the play. The next tap is good as well. Ben forced to go up high on the backboard. And Greg hits the ball, but Dax wasn't really ready for it. That's just going to be straight down to the center. Ben can't get to it in time. 2-0 for Kiel. And they have put on a very convincing performance this series.
That's been absolutely fantastic, and we saw this team at times during the Challenger bracket run that they made, and I mean, even swapping out K3 for time constant seems to have made a negligible difference.
I mean, they're playing very cohesive. I haven't noticed a lot of double commits, and whenever I have, just like that, they're called off pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
So, great communication. I know personally that Kiel has a very tight-knit esports society and Rocket League contingency within that, and it's really showed here. But that's a lovely passing play between the Cheese Masters. If that had been on target, then Kiel couldn't have been mad. It's unfortunate it didn't find the target, though. As this clock ticks down the last couple of seconds, Kiel, although it was a lot closer than we would have expected, seeing the two teams coming into this, they take the series 3-0, and Satsuma with a banger to finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a deserved win from Kiel. Not one of those games came down to one lucky incident or one bad mistake from Newcastle. That was just sustained betterness from the boys in blue there. They played fantastically the whole way through, and they can be very happy with themselves heading into round 3 on a 2-0.
Yes, they can indeed. And like you say, they don't seem to be hindered at all by the lack of K3. It seems like their offense is, if anything, a little bit more tempered and a little bit more collected in the way that they're approaching it. And I think they've adapted very, very well to this change-up of their roster.
Definitely. No, they did fantastically well there. And, you know, I think that will set them up well if they want to push for the top 12 places later on tonight.
Absolutely. And, well, we're going to go to another quick break after that terrific series that we just saw. When we come back, we have another great game for you. It's still waiting on the results, though.
Oh,
this was quite a... Oh, no?
No, we've just had the last ones in. So we were looking at the match where the winner of Kent and Scouse Sports will play the loser of Brighton and Loughborough, and we've just had it confirmed that Scouse Sports on a 3-1 will be facing Brighton coming off the reverse of the 3-1. We'll be watching that in our next match.
That should be a good game. Now, you'll be wanting to watch that. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to the NSE Stay-at-Home series. I'm still Drumzor, still joined here by my good friend Atch.
Hello.
And we just witnessed, I would call it a stomp, being a 3-0, but it was a very close series between KPA and the Cheese Masters from Newcastle.
It was. I mean, at times it looked like Kiel could do no wrong, but Newcastle had their moments, and particularly in that game too, Kiel had a few wobbles and Newcastle capitalised very well, and that one certainly could have gone the other way. So 3-0, perhaps not a fair representation completely of what we just saw.
But I mean, now we have a very, very exciting series to bring you. We have Scouse Sports, newcomers to the NSE. They've had a pretty convincing first series, and they've definitely come up as one of the new teams to watch after the spring season. And they're up against the Brighton Babes, who maybe had a slightly disappointing loss against Loughborough in that round 2 just now, but still a dangerous team to keep an eye on.
Definitely, and you know, this is really kind of it for Lee. You know, he's going to be moving fairly soon, and he'll be wanting some good results to take with him, and his teammates, I'm sure, will be helping him to try and achieve that. So this series, I think, could be a lot more even.
Absolutely, and I think the player to keep an eye on during this series, definitely Ferrell, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he's one of the most dangerous mechanical players, and just one of the fastest players actually to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
in games like this. So, I mean, they've had 2 series to warm up. These teams are going to be on fire starting this series off.
I would hope so.
So this should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. Any predictions on who's going to come away with the win?
Oh, it's so hard to tell. I mean, I would, history would have me predict Brighton, only because they have been consistently the higher ranked team. But of course, Scouse Sports are the definition of the new boys, so it's very hard to tell. They've been consistent so far this season. We've not really had a chance to see what they do in adverse situations, so maybe that'll be this.
And I think it's also worth noting that's a terrific shot there from Cosmic. Never mind what I was going to say. What an angle! What a redirect!
That's fantastic work from him there. Gets just in front of Ferrell, and while Ferrell recovers very well, he wasn't going to make it back to that. As it gently into the bottom right, and Scouse Sports looking like they know what they're doing as they take an early lead.
And I think, what I was going to say before that goal, I think this is the first series we've seen so far tonight of 2 teams with their maximum potential, their full rosters.
Yeah.
It's a big fake there from Ferrell. Maybe getting faked out by the defense himself, but Hazard couldn't have the follow-up. Quick turn there from Ferrell. Tries to get that back into the center, but Cosmic's waiting. Good block there from Cosmic. Wards is going to put that back into the middle. Hazard has a free shot just off the top corner. Wards gets the bump on Cosmic as well on the back rotation. Now Ferrell has boost and time in the air. Tries to get the block there on Pred. That's just lingering in front of the net, and an enormous bump on that waiting keeper gives Ferrell the entire net to aim at.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Cosmico did very well earlier to deal with the bump and still flip into the ball to get the clear out to the side, but Wardley wasn't going to let him have a second chance on that one, so cleared away for Ferrell to get an easy bump.
He went absolutely flying. I love seeing bumps like that.
Very satisfying.
Now,
Until it happens to you.
Until it happens to me, and then I'm furious. Scouse Sports will be looking for a quick response here. But game 1, at this point when teams are warmed up, game 1 is more of a show of strength than a warming up opportunity. Stock going in for the bump, almost finds Wards, but manages to get the clear back into the Scouse Sports half. Cosmic has the tap down, has a bit more boost, could follow that. Awkward touch. Pred comes in and takes over, but times it well. But the quick 1-2 takes that out the Brighton half. It's awkward for Stock to deal with, but he does so. Up into the corner. Cosmic up high once again. Neither player going for that, realizing they have a bit of time. Pred puts it up high into the middle, but nobody getting to there first. And like I say, Ferrell looking oh so quick at the moment.
Well, it's the Ferrell we've come to know. He's always going to be first to balls like that if you're lofting them up in the middle, so Scouse Sports might have to try something different, or just be a bit patient as Brighton just completely sail past. There's like a little red arrows display we had there, and Cosmico will read the.
There's only so fast you can go before you start missing the ball entirely. 2 players there for the Brighton defense, just caught hanging in the air, and Scout Sports bring it back to 2-1. Now Hazard to himself up the pitch. Ferrell puts it off the corner. It's just Pred waiting there. Maybe he left that a little bit too long on the touch. And that's 2 players. Cosmic bumping his teammate Pred out of the way. Lovely pass down to Ferrell in the mid, but Pred on the back rotation is there already. A rule 1 between Pred and Cosmic. They unsurprisingly choose not to keep that on the go. But it's left up a free chance for the Brighton offense, who somehow managed not to capitalize on that completely open net.
Oh, that was absolutely incredible. And I mean, Hazard's going to come back better late than never for the Brighton Babes, but God, you'd think they'd be missing all of those chances that they just had. They'd be lucky that they got that one straight away.
Yeah, 2-2 now. Still two and a bit minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time for either of these teams to pull ahead. But for the moment, absolutely neck and neck. These 2 teams pretty fierce in their play styles. Liverpool, Scout Sports that is, favouring a few more passing plays, whereas Brighton just favouring all-out aggression.
Yeah, I mean, that demo, I don't think it actually made much difference to the way that play panned out. I can't see that the Liverpool defender, being off-screen as he was when that happened, would have made it back into net in time, but the Scout Sports passing plays haven't quite come to fruition yet, but Brighton should be worried if and when they do.
Stock sending that way up the pitch. Clear only finds Pred, manages to put a good shot on target, but Ferrell stays low and gets a solid hit. Hazard, no boost for the big clear, but it manages to find Wards, who puts a convincing shot just onto Stock in net though. Now, nobody on this ball once again from Scout Sports, but a quick 50 on Ferrell on the wall. It's going to give them a tiny bit of possession. Pred is going to have the big clear. Stock's up and waiting. Manages to get bumped, but still recovers. Almost a lovely shot there from the Scout Sports offense.
Yeah, that was much better. That's something we haven't seen from them in the second half of this game. They found each other well, and Brighton did look a little bit stretched there, but Scout Sports are going to need something slightly better than that to level this game, and that might be it. Stock hears me talking and decides to shut me up. 3-3.
Yeah, the high ball gave Pred a lot of time in the air, and Stock just comes barreling in the middle. He doesn't care if there's defenders. He's getting there first. And just a minute now between these 2 teams. No goals at all. Could we see overtime in game 1?
I wouldn't be surprised, but the way these teams have been playing so far, I'm not sure the overtime would last.
That's true. It has been a bit of a goal fest. But surprisingly low shots as well compared to the other couple of series we've seen today.
That's true.
Red. Off the corner. Stock found in front of the ball. Wards can only send that to the last man, but Cosmic very solid in that position. Stock is up nice and quick, gets a decent clear, but Ferrell already on it, tries to freestyle his corner read, but boosts a little bit too late to get to it. Hazard is going to follow his own hit, tries to fake it out, I think, at the end, and it nearly worked. Both Cosmic and Stock were stuck there in net. Wards bouncing clear. I don't know why Ferrell's jumping for that. Hazard was already there, but it's found a free net for Wards. And with 11 seconds left on the clock, Brighton have pulled ahead.
That's not one that Stock will like to see. Just got a little bit caught under the ball. It's awkward for him coming off the backboard over his head, but still need to be a little bit quicker. Just a double jump would have sufficed to at least get a little touch on it, and it would have put Wards off. But as it stands, time ticks down. Looks like Brighton might take game 1.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, well.
Pred. Oh, he's read the clear so well. And Brighton, they were a goal ahead. They didn't need to push up as much as they did. With a second left, I thought the game was over. No, we're going to overtime.
Yeah, someone's listening to me, I think, on the Scout Sports side. I've told them twice that they need to score, and twice they have done. So I won't say anything to make this overtime nice and neutral, but I'm not sure it will last very long, as I said.
And if Scout Sports come away with the win here in this game, that's got to be demoralizing if you're Brighton. And it's looking like it's going to be as Cosmic puts one just off the crossbar. That had too much power on it. Now Feral has a bit of control here on the wall. Cosmic's got the boost, is able to get the challenge, but it's straight into the middle. Hazard takes 2 defenders out the play. Now it's just Wards, but beaten to the ball by Cosmic. Now Feral gets the win once again. Wards sends it into the center. Feral's up nice and quick, finds the top corner, and Brighton don't get punished for their mistake in that, leading to that overtime, and they come away with the Game 1 win.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, something tells me that this isn't going to be over in 3. These two teams trading blows back and forth throughout that whole game, and I mean, you know, that was fantastic. I don't know what the final stats are going to be. It's not quite as impressive, but up until the final minute of that game, Scout Sports were shooting 60%, and you know, while most people might consider 60% to be a passable grade, if you're shooting 60% against the Brighton Babes, you're doing something right. That's nothing short of incredible. And what's slightly sad, but yet even more incredible, is that they've managed to shoot 60% for most of that game and still lose. So that shows you something about what the Brighton Babes will do to a team.
Oh yeah, I mean the Brighton Babes shooting 50% themselves,
Yeah,
matching Scout Sports for saves. These are two aggressive teams, and they were just kind of trading them back and forth over the course of that game.
Yeah.
Cosmic has gone to get a cream soda, and there's a bit of banter going on between the two teams. That's why I'm a big fan of the Liverpool team.
Yeah.
They've got good banter. They've got very good banter, and that's important. It's important to keep a good attitude to these games and to keep a positive outlook.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not having fun, even at the high levels like these guys are playing at, you're not having fun. Why would you bother turning up week in, week out, you know? So it's supposed to be about having, you know, obviously winning is important for a lot of these teams, and these teams do a lot of winning, but you can't just show up every week just to win. You've got to be enjoying it, and these guys clearly are.
Now, a very important game in this series for both teams. You have to feel like if Brighton can take a second one, then that would just put them in a guaranteed position to take the series on. Scout Sports have to come out with a little bit of a good start here, and that's not looking like a good start, but somehow not capitalized on by Brighton. It's looking still a bit scrabbly, and another big 50 from Pred is going to find a bounce into an open net. It's deja vu from that overtime bringer from last game.
It is,
Pred finds the first one.
It's exactly the same problem. You know, all 3 Brighton players pushing into the Scout Sports half, and you can understand it to an extent, but Feral was never going to get that ball anywhere particularly enticing for his teammates to chase up, so he only needs one there to do some clean-up duty if it does go very well, and the fact that Hazard was following into the half is really what caught them out, and I don't really think they can keep doing that against a team of this caliber.
They definitely cannot. I mean, Scout Sports, if there's one thing they know how to do, it is work as a team. You probably won't see many big overcommits like that from themselves. But at the moment, they're putting a bit more of the pressure on. They want to make this a 2-0 lead, as Cosmic almost finds one to the bottom corner. Pred is going to try and keep this into the middle. Somehow still has the flip, which catches off the Brighton offense a little bit. But just as I say, you're probably going to find someone at the back. Feral, with a huge flick, catches out Stock in net.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know, the Scout Sports goal, there wasn't anyone in net, and you were saying, yeah, there's always someone in the Scout Sports net. You're right, but with a flick like that from Feral, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, yeah.
That was always going to sail over any defender's head, because that was an absolute laser.
Yes, indeed. Oh, that's smart play from Wards there. Baits out the 50. Fortunately, Feral can't make the connection. And now, if Cosmic can find a dunk on this, as he does, he finds 2 in a row. Stock can only tap that to the middle. Feral keeps it there. And Pred is going to send a quick response back into the Brighton net.
Yeah, I think the communication maybe from the boys in orange not quite there. I think someone needed to tell Feral that he probably would have just been better off leaving that ball completely alone, because that would have trickled by and would have been close, but I'm not sure that Scout Sports' attack would have reached it before it bobbled past the post, and him just knocking it out like that was never going to do them any favours.
Especially since we've seen a few quick turns from Feral already. And that's a quick turnaround from Brighton. Hazard finds a response to the response. Cosmic Oh, it was Pred with the mistouch back into the middle. Hazard gifted a goal there from the Scout Sports defense.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you want to see on the side of either team at the moment. It's been a little bit sort of subpar, we might say, in game 2 so far, but plenty of time left on the clock, and of course, at least it's the kind of subpar that's getting us loads of goals.
And I think Ward's put it best in the game chat. He just said, "We're all over the place." Lol.
They are a bit.
Again, keeping that attitude. That's a lovely touch there from Ferrell, though. That's going to be an awkward one to deal with, but Stock has the boost. I think Hazard was getting a bit bothered in net by one of the Scout Sports players. Roll. It's going to be rough there, but Cosmic falling off his teammate. Stock
Great
gets there
touch.
first. It's slowly rolling towards Hazard. Bounce. Not going to find its way back to the middle. And Hazard's going to get there first, but doesn't have the boost here. Nice touch from Pred. Takes out another player, but Wards. Oh, that's well played. Gets it up high, but Pred can only send that to the corner. Ferrell up to himself, off the roof, gets the second touch. Nobody's there for Scout Sports. They're scrabbling, but Brighton just weren't ready for it. And Wards has to catch himself quickly from letting another just big clear into the net.
Yeah, I did think for a minute there, if the Scout Sports defence had caught hold of that clear, that could have been deja vu all over again for Brighton if that sailed by, but luckily, not much boost on the defence meant not much distance on the clear, so they get away with one.
We're starting to see a few double commits now from the Scout Sports defense. Something that we're not really used to seeing. Like I say, they're one of these collected, quite well coordinated teams. Stock is going to have a big clear here, though. Just finds Wards on the corner. That's back into the middle. Hazard is going to be forced into making an awkward touch. Straight back to Cosmic. Pred. Stuff the other wall. Stock's up quickly off the backboard, but nobody could follow it up there from Scout Sports. A little bit deprived of boost. Cosmic gets the 50 into the corner. Pred takes Ferrell out the play. Now 2 players are on the back rotation. Hazard. Nice collected play, though. Gets the boost, gets the ball. Stock sends it back into the corner. Just over a minute left now and still 2-all, but both teams fighting so hard for this next goal.
Yeah, it's quieting down a bit in the second half of this game, certainly on the goal front, although Stock looking to prove me wrong, but I'll try and finish my sentence quickly. Does look like it's quietening down, provided no one scores fairly soon, but both teams still coming out with great passing plays and good offense on the whole, just not quite the end product.
There's been end-to-end pressure exchanged by both teams. Pred gets caught out by the jumping off the curve and has to struggle not to own goal it must be said. Cosmic does well not to get dunked on the clear there, and now with very low boost. Maybe faked out the hit from Ferrell. Ferrell with the pre-jump, but readjusted quite well. The clear from Stock is only going to find Wards, who has read that. He's going to be there. Pred, the 50 is not useful. Hazard's going to be there on the end of it, and Ferrell, maybe learning from his previous mistakes, chooses not to push up on that ball. Still no goals from either team.
No, and I mean, did look a little bit ropey there for Scout Sports. They had both their back boosts taken by the Brighton defenders rotating back, and we saw in the varsity on Sunday, Brighton did that fantastically well. Just cramped Sussex for boosts so much, and I think if they can get that going, Scout Sports are going to have a very hard time doing anything.
That was a good chance there for Cosmic. It's still going to be pressure in favour of Scout Sports. Pred couldn't get the shot on target. He was just backwards to it. And we have overtime here in our second game. Crucial goal now for Scout Sports. Either they score this or they need a full BO5 reverse sweep in this series. Ferrell going to have the control here. He gets it over 1. He's going to find the pass to middle, you feel like. But Pred, nice read, shuts him down quickly. Double commit there between the Brighton players, though. That's going to leave a free shot for Stock and another double commit on defense. But Pred was pushing up for boost, I think, or Stock was. And now Wards is going to be back on the offense. Cosmic sends it over to the middle. Ferrell's it quickly, but the big dunk. Hazard, once again, he's remembering what happened in these last couple of games. And the drop down to Stock. It's happened. Scout Sports find that crucial goal and bring this down to a best of 3.
That was fantastic work from Cosmic. Realised he had the time on the corner and just dropped it underneath Ferrell. And Stock was always going to beat the on-rushing defender to get that in at the near post. And I think Scout Sports put in a much better shift there, and they certainly were hard done by in game 1 with their shooting. This time, put on a lot of shots. Brighton 2 from 2. Scout Sports 3 from 11, but the 3 is the key number, of course.
Yeah, another key number you'll notice there. Absolutely 0 saves for Scout Sports. That's...
Whoops.
I mean, not many shots coming out from Brighton, like you say, only 2. But maybe that's a good sign from Scout Sports. Maybe they're shutting down these plays before they can even get shots off.
Certainly
Or
it's
maybe
possible,
it's a couple of efforts from Brighton that shouldn't have made it past that pre-net defense.
Well, I think, a bit of both, perhaps, from Scout Sports. They did do some fantastic preemptive defense. They did do some brilliant cutting out of passes, and their clears, we've seen, as this night has gone on, our series have seen progressively better and better, not just clears, but general defensive awareness, the ability to say, actually, I've got a bit of time on the ball, rather than just launching it into the middle of nowhere and giving it back to the other team. I'll see my teammate out on the left or on the right and play it out to him, or I'll take it up the backboard and have a look and see what my options are then. And that kind of awareness is what separates the great from the good.
I mean, speaking of great versus good, this has been a great series so far. The best one I think we've seen all night. Well, again, so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Scout Sports probably having a little bit more momentum after that win in the second game. And this, once again, is a key one. If you can take this, you put yourselves into match position. Well, match point. And Brighton getting given a free chance. Wards, that is nowhere near the net, my friend.
Yeah, not one that you'll want to be showing him tomorrow if you want to remain friends. I think that one will be forgotten about. But, it's, I think, perhaps a little bit of nerve starting to creep in these teams, realising that there's quite a lot on the line here for their hopes in the tour.
I think both these teams 2-0 so far. Both these teams.
I think Brighton are off the back of a loss, I believe.
Oh yeah, they are. Of course, they lost to Loughborough in that last round.
Yeah, so Brighton in particular really looking to not do that again if they want to consolidate their position in the top 12.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's only 12 teams to make it through. That means they pretty much need a decent 4-1 record from these 5 games this evening. And so another loss here for Brighton would not be advisable. But
well,
speaking of which,
might not get a choice.
another open net found there. Another huge overcommit from all 3 of the Brighton players. And this time, not a dunk from Pred, just a lovely little half volley off the corner from Cosmic. Finds another opener for Scout Sports. And so far, it's 2 for 2 on first goal, decides the game.
It is. It's very true. And they'll get a second. It'll make it a bit more convincing. Pred did well to get that angle, but again, Brighton defense not quite fully set up just yet.
Yeah, Ferrell maybe, I think, respecting the flip reset attempt from Stock, maybe thinking he could block a pass or a potential top corner, but Stock didn't have the flip reset at all, and that just left a free angle for Pred. Nice finish to get that kind of tight shot, but a chance that shouldn't have been afforded to Scout Sports, and now they're looking to make it 3. Cosmic pushing up on the offense. Hazard does well to stall for time. Ferrell going to take that, but beaten to the ball by Pred. That's not a player you often see beaten for speed. But that's a lovely pre-jump save from Wards on the shot from Stock. Now the counter-attack opportunity from Brighton, but both players getting a little bit ahead of each other. That's going to shut that down quickly.
Bump. Oh dear.
Oh. Speaking of a free net, Ferrell, nobody's home. Oh, Cosmic was pushing up on that. Pred was going for mid-boost. Nobody was even close to the defense there.
Pred did well. Pred got out ahead of Stock there and did a fantastic bump. I believe it was Hazard that got completely launched so that Stock could continue his dribble with no boost. But to follow that as Cosmic, last man, very questionable decision to say the least. And happily for them, they're still in the lead, so no panic stations just yet.
I mean, you say that looks like a massive panic there coming out from Pred. He was just directly underneath the ball the whole time. He couldn't do anything with it because it would just pop it. Maybe a quick backflip there would have sent it back into the corner. But just like that, they've gone from 2-0 to 2-all. It's, like they say, time to throw from Cosmic.
Yeah, but still plenty of time left on the clock. And, while those aren't the goals you want to concede, it still looks promising on offense as Stock might set things up again here.
Oh, and Feral, I think that was Feral, maybe being a little bit too quick to the trigger there. Thought he had to make a nice block. Oh, it was Hazard. Expected Cosmic to be coming in a lot quicker on that, but just wasn't ready for the final shot. Scout Sports find themselves a goal up once again.
Yeah, neither team looking particularly convincing on defense so far this game, but makes some entertaining viewing, so we're not going to complain too much.
Not at all.
Huge double commit pinch.
Enormous pinch, yeah, that's... If Stock had that read and found a shot, I would have been amazed. But now, a nice counterplay there from Brighton. That's going to slowly roll its way to the post. Ward's going to have another good centre. Feral faked out by the miss from Stock. Neither player was ready for that. That demo, though, absolutely key. Pred is looking lost in net. Feral once again faked by the miss. He's going to get that back into the middle, though. Pred can only tap that back over to the corner. It's another free shot, another post hit. Wards finds a slow one again off the backboard. And a lot of attempts coming in here from Brighton, but none of them really finding the mark so far until Hazard proves me wrong right at that point, takes it back to 3-all.
Yeah, it was fantastic work from Feral. Got a brilliant second touch off the ceiling, but just not quite set in defensive rotations on either side of the ball yet.
Yeah, and that looked a little bit scrabbly, if anything, from Scout Sports. They looked panicked, and Brighton could smell it. They capitalised very well. And speaking of panic, there's another huge one from the Scout Sports defence. Cracks are showing, and Brighton are starting to get a taste for these goals. As Cosmic going to send that up the wall, but very quickly shut down by Feral. Tries to find the dunk, but Cosmic is going to send that straight back down the pitch. Wards somehow manages to get the boost grab in that and still challenge the ball, but is beaten to it by Cosmic. Now Stark, last on the backboard, manages to beat out Hazard. Wardley going for a little bit of a interesting hit, but doesn't quite capitalise with it. Stock goes for the redirect. I think the Brighton players had to respect that as well. Maybe showing a little bit too much respect to this Scout Sports offense?
Well, it's possible. It's certainly, you know, this, as the final minute ticks down, you'll be really careful not to make any silly mistakes at this point. But like you say, someone's going to have to score to end this deadlock in game 3.
Absolutely, and that's a big, big jump there from Stock. It's going to give a free double tap to Feral. Does well to get that ahead. That's a lovely goal right there. But Stock, maybe, well, he could have had the block, but Pred thought he had it as well. Bumped Stock out the way. And Scout Sports, I don't know what's happened this game, but the defense has just fallen apart.
Yeah, it's not looked as convincing so far, but still a bit of time left. Cosmico trying to turn things around for his team, but yeah, it's not been the Scout Sports that we saw in game 1 or 2.
It's a good chance there, though, but shut down quickly by Wards. Stock is going to put that off of the corner. Nobody's meeting that. Feral had low boost. Hazard has to get a big clear on this, but he does so. 2 players are waiting for it for Scout Sports, though. Cosmic, can he get the block here? Light tap. Fred is going to send that into the middle. Stock has to jump for this, but respecting it a bit too much. You have to throw in at least 2 offenders during plays like that. When you're a goal down and you're on the back foot, Brighton get away with game number 3 and match point.
Yeah, I think get away with is slightly the right word there. Neither team looking completely settled, and certainly neither team looking like we've seen them at points in this spring season so far. So they'll be looking to calm down a bit as we go into game 4. And of course, Brighton will probably be a little bit calmer now that they've got 2 chances just to win 1 game.
Yeah, for sure. And they've been looking... I don't want to say they've looked like the stronger team. I just think they've shown the less weakness. Yes. Because both these teams have been very, very equal. But Scout Sports, in that last game, they kind of started showing a few openings at the back, a little bit of panic, a few different whiffs, a few double commits. Yep. Whereas Brighton haven't really been showing the same.
No, it's true. It is true. And, you know, they've had some fantastic plays, and they've had a lot more of the sort of nearly moments. You know, there's been a couple of moments there where Feral has, I mean, that double touch was very nice, but there have been some even more amazing plays that look like they might have been on the cards. And it would be worth reminding everyone watching that, of course, we do have a special episode of Monster Plays going on for this week's stay-at-home tourney. So you will be wanting to clip any fantastic plays if you're playing or if you're watching to make sure that your friends can reap the rewards. But get into this game 4, and Scout Sports will need to change things up just a little.
Yep, and they have only 5 minutes to do so. No more lives now for them. It's do or die. As Feral has boost, but chooses to leave it. Stock with an interesting back pass. Cosmic, I don't think, was ready for it. Feral,
Oh, no.
Pred, that's awkward.
Oh,
Oh, and Feral, I thought he pinched it a little bit too high off the floor there. Pred, what was happening?
Pred, I think, a bit of a Brighton curse. Got caught a little bit too far up and just wasn't expecting that ball to come at him as quickly as it did. And when it did, he just was quite underprepared. But only 30 seconds gone, so no panic stations yet for Scout Sports.
Finds its way back to Hazard. Nice find of Wards on the wall. Wards gets a bit of a scoop.
Oh,
into
here
the
we
middle.
go. Cosmic. Oh.
Oh, yeah, it did well to go for the demo there. I think that was the play. Hazard, good clear over to the corner. A nice lead from Wards as well, showing some of that good communication. Whereas Pred just goes flying in there underneath Cosmic. Wards can only send that slightly out to the middle. Stock might be looking for the outplay here on Feral. He's wiggling around, trying to bait out the challenge. Manages to do so. The pinch, still in the middle. Stock going for every single bump he can find, and Pred is going to be gifted that free shot. Much better there from Scout Sports.
This was a fantastic work from Stock. I'm not sure he was intending to get a touch on the ball, but he certainly did enough complete shenanigans in the back line there of Brighton to make sure that none of them got a good one either, and it really worked out for Scout Sports.
Worked out indeed. And we find ourselves level once again. These two teams so even. It is neck and neck, a hair's breadth between them. Now Feral back on the offense. Cosmic, that's not a convincing touch. Neither is that one from Stock. Hazard was up nice and quick. Feral gets the boost away from Cosmic. Wards going for the double tap, but leaves it for Hazard. Hazard somehow keeps it low enough. I think both the players in the Scout Sports net thought that that was off the crossbar. Lovely placement there from Hazard.
I can't blame them. I was under the same impression, but yeah, just a beautiful deft touch with the wheels to drop it down. Just clipped the underside of the bar, but not enough to stop it from going in, and Brighton retake the lead.
They do. Plenty of time left on the clock, though. Anything can happen in 3 minutes. But Feral putting another lovely shot. What a save there from Stock. That was a brilliant passing play from Brighton, but shut down nicely on the goal line from Stock. And now they'll be looking to get one on the counter-attack. Stock sends a heavy one, and the fake there on the redirect. Lovely goal from Scout Sports.
I really thought Cosmic Code got a touch on that. That's why I was so excited. But like you say, a fantastic fake. Didn't quite get the touch, but I think any touch he could have got to send it that way would have put it well wide of the net. So it was a good thing he didn't.
Very good thing he didn't indeed. Big kickoff, though, for Brighton there. Finds its way all the way to the backboard and up the ceiling. Feral, nice tap, takes two players of Scout Sports out to play. That's not the best touch from Pred. That's a centre there for Brighton. And that's bouncing back towards Wards. Nobody on the challenge. Scout Sports left hanging in net. Another goal for Brighton.
Yeah, and again, another goal for Brighton that's more of a gift than a successful attempt, you know? We'll take those all day long, and he's unlikely to miss them, but more of a mistake from Blue than a fantastic work from Orange there.
Again, it's coming down to these defensive miscommunications and hesitations. But you can see more of these bumps coming out from Scout Sports now. Feral had to recover to get to that. He might have to drop down, but didn't have the boost to get high enough for it. Wards trying to go a little bit too fast there. Gets caught out by the bounce. Pred had to jump early to dodge the demo, but did so. Wards sends that back into the middle, though. It took 3 players to stop that going in from Feral. But stop it, they did. And now Hazard keeping a very smart back rotation, but that's a very aggressive push-up from Cosmic to find the equalizer.
It's a very smart rotation, not the best touch. Hazard just knocks. I think he was trying to get it up the wall, keep it into the corner a bit, but get a bit of height on the ball was the crucial thing. And the fact that he just bounced it off the top of his car and flat out off the wall meant that Cosmic could sneak in, and it was a well-placed shot to catch Feral out.
So many of these games have
save.
come down to just one goal. Oh, that's such a smart play from Brighton. That was an incredibly smart touch there from Feral there on the pass. Oh, it was Ward's on the pass.
Yeah, not
Wait,
a
was it an
smart
own
touch
goal?
here from Cosmic. Yeah.
I thought that Hazard had come in as the third man and found that shot. I didn't realise it was the own goal.
To credit Cosmic, Hazard would have come in as third man, perhaps not even half a second behind, and done exactly what Cosmic did. But as Cosmic got there first, you would hope he would have done something else rather than a fantastically placed shot to the bottom right of his own net. But, like you say, you know, still time left. This game still young for a 7-goal threat.
Yeah. And Scout Sports, I can tell in chat, they're still keeping a good mentality about it. Cosmic sends that one up high. Feral just playing for time there, I think, at this point. Only a minute and a half left on the clock, but in Rocket League, that's quite a while. Easy to get baited into playing a little bit too defensive. Hazard, big clear.
Ooh, big
Miss,
miss.
though, from Pred. That's going to give a wide open net. Cosmic just manages to back rotate in time. Pass from Wards. Back over to Hazard, but Hazard playing it a little bit safer. Takes it up the corner. Gets the demo onto Pred. Cosmic waiting on that mid boost. Cos playing as a statue. Two defenders
got it.
there from Scout Sports. No, he did get it. Yeah, he's pushing up now on the attack, but can't do anything with it. Turns back in now. Might have a shot chance here. Stock was after the demo onto Feral, but Feral does well to dodge. Hazard up off the corner. Scout Sports have to be applying a little bit more pressure, you feel like, at this point, now that they need a goal and only 40 seconds left.
Yeah, I think, you know, this is coming down to last chance saloon for the boys in blue. They will need something, obviously. This is their last fight in the series. So Brighton sitting back a bit, and as well they might, because they don't need anything else now.
Saying that, they've sent 2 players up onto that ball. Ward's very smartly playing it back at the midfield. Now 15 seconds. Brighton have to hang on to this. They can't really let up the pressure. Or they could just chuck another one in. No! Feral gets it just down off the crossbar. Such a close chance, and now Brighton scrabbling on the counter-attack, but Scout Sports can't do anything with the ball.
Great
and as that
touch.
one, a fantastic shot there from Feral, will seal the deal in this series. Lovely play there from Brighton towards the end.
Reads off the ceiling from Brighton this series has been absolutely incredible. It's not the kind of situation that you normally find yourself in a game of Rocket League, but to have the acuity to get that straight off the ceiling and laser it into the top corner like that's fantastic work from Feral.
Yeah, and 2 goals left, no time left on the clock.
Ooh,
Almost
yeah,
another
great.
amazing tap down there from Hazard. Shows you what these players can do once the pressure's off. But very, very well played there from Brighton to take that 3-1 and secure themselves another chance at making that top 12.
Well, yes, I mean, you know, if you're a fan of good Rocket League, that's the best result you could have hoped for, because now both teams sitting there on 1 loss, and as we were saying earlier, might do with reiterating, a 4-1 on the 5 matches the teams play tonight will be enough to take them through into the top 12, no questions asked. It's when you get down to 3-2, going to be a lot of teams ending up on that tonight, but only 2 or 3 of them going to make it through, and it's all going to come down to opponent record, which is not the position you want to find yourself in.
Not at all. You want it to be. You want a decent lead ahead of the other teams, especially coming out of this round 3. This round 4 that we're coming into next will see us finding out our first guaranteed teams to be making it into that top 12, and I think we'll be watching a pretty damn good game for our 4th round. We'll be watching Sussex Hammerheads versus Reggie
UEA.
Belafonte, which is University of East Anglia, playing under a pretty impressive name.
UEA, I think it's worth mentioning, got here on a sweep on UWE, which, you know, that should tell you something about how they're feeling this evening. So I think we'll have a good game to come up next.
Yeah, UWE, of course, being the 3rd place finishers from the championship bracket of the spring season of the NSE. So UEA, they do have to be feeling pretty good after that win. So we'll see if they're playing good against the Sussex Hammerheads after the break. Don't go anywhere.
wanna feel your touch like ice, tracing all my scars. Why is it hurt on the inside? It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us so, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. Frozen in my dream, I can't escape the thoughts of you. If I try to leave, when I'm with you I can't move. It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us whole, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold.
All I wanna do is to put my arms around you and watch these moments fall back into place. All I wanna do is to make you stop and love me. How can I be blue when you catch me in these feelings like okay. I love you, I do need you, I do, I do need you, I love you, I do need you, oh, I love you, I do need you, oh, I love you, I do need you, I do, I love you, I do need you, I love you, I do need you, oh, I love you, I do need you. All I wanna do is to put my arms around you Ooh, I love you, love you. I do need you, need you. I do, I love you, I do need you. I love you, love you. I do need you. Ooh, I love you, I do need you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to the NSE Stay at Home series right here on Rocket Kingdom TV. I'm still Drumzors, I'm still joined by Ash,
Hello, hello.
and we just witnessed another terrific series between two of probably the two of the higher level teams in this tournament.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Scotsman
absolutely
versus
brilliant.
Brighton.
First series we've seen, I think, where I can't specifically pick one recurring fault with either side there. They made individual mistakes at certain times, but there wasn't something that you could instantly just go, right, these teams to get further in the tournament next time would need to work on this. There was just a general level of solidity that we haven't seen so far.
But now, I mean, it's round 4 that we're watching now.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 wins from any team would guarantee them a spot in tomorrow's top 12.
Indeed it would.
So we're about to see Sussex versus Reggie Belafonte would have gone to UEA.
You can't disprove it.
Which it's University of East Anglia playing under the moniker of the secondary antagonist from the film Surf's Up.
It's a classic hit, to be fair.
I had to
rate
Google
it.
who Reggie Belafonte was. I think any
You uncultured man. How
Any-
often Surf's Up?
normal human being should have had to Google who Reggie Belafonte was.
Well, clearly I had the better childhood if I got to see Surf's Up.
But anyway, back to the point. Sussex so far have had nothing but 3-0 victories. They haven't dropped a single game so far in their 3 series. UEA are pretty close behind them. They've dropped 1 game so far
They
in
are
their
still
3
3-0.
series. They are still 3-0, yep. But they're slipping, man. They've dropped 1 game.
One whole game.
And it's worth noting that KPA, one of the teams we looked at in our second round game, who looked incredibly strong, they were taken down by that 3-0 by
Yes, they were.
Sussex. So that just shows you how strong these two teams are looking right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like you say, the maths checks out. Whoever wins this will be the first team we see tonight to confirm qualification. They might not be the first chronologically, as they're a little behind, but it's the first round of matches where you can certify your qualification, and both these teams will be desperate for that, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. And it's also worth noting, UEA also took down UWE Sea Stags, our third place finishers from the from last season's
Absolutely amazing.
and that's a terrific result for UEA.
Mm.
They must be playing very on form, and I personally can't wait to see how they're going to come out.
Well, why wait any longer? Let's just get straight into our round 4 match. I'd be quite keen to see this UEA team as well. They can take it to the West England side, so let's just get straight into game 1.
And I must say, I'm not going to refer to UEA as Reggie Belafonte, at least not regularly.
Oh,
They started out with a terrific attempt that Dizzy probably should have put that on target. Ow. TJX had a bit of a chance, but no boost for the dribble. Distan tries to find a good 50, but it goes back towards his own corner. UEA leaving a bit of respect, but good speed from Supreme to catch that up. Distan a big whiff on the corner. He's going to leave one opportunity, but
big
2
bump.
players, yeah, they've bumped each other on the UEA defense. That leaves KJ with an attempt on the counter-attack. I think he mentioned beforehand that he likes to be called just KJ. Can't remember them.
I'm not doing all 4 letters. If you're not doing Reggie Belafonte, that's going to be my little gift to myself. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
He lasered that one into the toilet.
TJX should have found the save there. Massive bump there from KJ, but I'm Private recovered so well to get to that. He's got boost now, maybe baiting out the fact that he doesn't. Supreme chooses to back off and instead tap that up the wall. Distan finds the bump onto KJ and net. KJ still has pressure. Gonna have the air dribble there. Almost catches out I'm Private. But all three players now pushing up on the UEA offense. Supreme smartly choosing to back off, I think. Has the read on the bounce. But Distan's there already. Almost finds that one in. Somehow poaches the goal away from TJX. Lovely play there from Sussex to open up the scoreline.
Yeah, Distan did brilliantly well just to absolutely con Dizzy into believing that ball was dropping down to him. But yeah, he'll take the credit, and I think he deserved it, really. He did most of the work to get that first goal.
Yeah, definitely the fastest game that we've seen so far this evening. Both teams fully warmed up, fully on lock. TJX doing well to take that away from the two players pushing up from the UEA offense. Now trying to bait Dizzy into the block. Supreme was nicely there though, well positioned. KJ caught out by the steep bounce down from the corner. Great pass from TJX to I'm Private, but now it's just Distan on the back rotation. KJ does well to keep that not threatening to his half. And I think we're seeing a bit more pressure, probably in favour of that Sussex squad as they find a second seemingly out of nowhere.
I don't know what happened here. I don't think KJ will want to see this one again. Just didn't quite read it right off the wall. It was a great sort of, I don't know really what to call that. Improvisation, perhaps, from Improvit there, just to sneak it in on a backflip shot like that. It was fantastic work. And Sussex certainly looking the stronger side in the early minutes of this game one.
Improvisation from improvisation. No, going for that one.
You can try. We'll work on it. We'll work on it in the break. We'll get back to you in round 5.
I've given up already. I'm Private, sends it to the backboard, but KJ is waiting there. Manages to get a nice hit that takes out Distan from the play.
Oh my.
2 players on that though for UEA. If Dizzy can get a shot on, that would be convincing, but doesn't manage to get round those defenders. Solid 50 there from TJ is going to relieve a bit of that pressure, but KJ comes barreling down again. Private sends that to the wall. TJX caught out by it though. That's going to bounce dangerously. Nobody's there from Sussex, but Distan does just enough to bait out. It's off the backboard. He's found the double tap. KJ, lovely control.
That was absolutely fantastic work from KJ there. He hit that. I think even he would agree perhaps far too hard for the amount of boost he had, but to feather that down into the right-hand side with his wheels on the second touch was fantastic work. And over 2 minutes left for UEA to cut the lead again.
Got plenty of time to make something happen. Unless player Supreme gets demoed by TJX there on the side.
Oh,
that's a huge whiff there from KJ. He's going to leave a free chance for Distan, but Distan somehow finds only the post. TJX tries to find him once again, but big bump leaves that. KJ is going to have a counter-attack chance here, but doesn't get the touch. I'm Private manages to wiggle that around him on the wall. Now Distan up into the corner. KJ gets the touch. Supreme was pushing out on it, but shut down nicely by TJX. The bounce is going to be kind here for Sussex. Awkward to deal with. Supreme is forced out of net. That's Dizzy in an awkward spot. Low boost on the back post, but a huge clear will alleviate a little bit of that. Now Supreme finds the center, but nobody committing. Good counter-attack chance here from Sussex, especially as this ball is bouncing back into the middle. There's a bump on the keeper, TJ, giving it a lot of space, though. Private, almost.
Oh. I was going to say both these teams looking a little bit shaky on offense. That was an example of UEA looking a little shaky on defense there, but they managed to get out of it, and Supreme might make them pay, or maybe just leave the ball alone.
First good chance we've seen for a little while from UEA. It's Distan. Tries to 50 that into the middle. It's up high, not really threatening unless Private can get a good bounce here off the corner. Supreme, big whiff. That's going to keep UEA from getting any kind of pressure going for the next few seconds. And as time is ticking down, they need a goal still to keep them alive in this game one.
Oh, that's a good touch from Supreme, but teammates are a little low on boost, so they won't be able to push out straight away. That's a fantastic touch. Supreme now has time, but the UEA team don't have much time as a whole, so they need to push this further forward if they can.
Oh, almost a great read from TJX on the bounce down. That's 2 players up there.
Oh,
what a save, Supreme. I don't think he knew much about it. I think TJX probably was trying to catch out the defenders and ended up catching one of them by mistake. UEA, they've got the demo. There's no keeper. What a save from Distan. I didn't think he could get to that in time, especially with the smoke screen, but that is going to save Sussex unless UEA can get another attack on the go at the moment. It doesn't look like it as Distan is pushing that back into their half. Supreme has control though. He gets the bump. Dizzy can't keep it up. Very well played there from Sussex towards the end of that game.
Yeah, that was fantastic work from Distan there. I don't think he had any right to even get close to that ball. The onrushing UEA attacker could have put it a bit more to the left, but you would have thought he'd have done enough, but Distan certainly had other ideas.
Sussex keeping their perfect record so far in this in these qualifying games. 10 games in a row they've won now. That is insane. They're playing incredibly well together. And UEA, I haven't even noticed any mistakes or anything. They're just being taken out by a confident, passing team in Sussex.
It's true. I mean, it's at times like this where casters like us will fall back on cliches like, oh, the UEA side have not really faced a challenge of this magnitude so far. But you got to remember, this is a team that swept UWE.
Yeah.
So clearly they have what it takes. I can't quite say I know for sure what they need to pinpoint. It has just been a couple of individual one-time mistakes, like that one you just saw on the replay there. Just a couple of missed balls, and I don't think there's much in this for the UEA side.
Yeah, I feel like with the record both of these teams have had coming into this series, if whoever walks away, the loser is going to feel cheated. They're both playing incredibly well.
They are.
And I mean, we're seeing a lot more passes being found by either team as well than we've seen for the other three series this evening. These teams, it's clear they practice a lot, it's clear they've worked together, and it's clear that they want to take this series and therefore secure their place in the top 12 tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that from what we've seen of these teams compared to many of the other teams tonight, wouldn't be surprised to see both of them in eventually, but this is, of course, the equivalent to being 2-1 up in a series. They've now both got two chances to do one thing once, so both teams will be looking to make this 4-0 rather than having to have a nervy fifth series at 3-1.
Oh, that was a great shot there from KJ. Took two defenders to keep it out, if it managed to do so. And now Dizzy is going to try and get a tap just into the top corner for that. Managed to slow it down somewhat, keep it in front of the net, but nobody could follow that up. KJ giving that a lot of respect, keeping nicely far back in case of the breakaway like that, but just gets completely mind-gamed by I'm Private there. And now this is good pressure from Sussex. TJ could get the drop down, but Supreme, great save. Stops that shot away there. Nobody with any boost though. Distan is just going to send that off the backboard. Then the counter-attack opportunity now for UEA. Supreme can't get the shot, didn't have the ceiling read. TGX without the boost. Private's going to take that over to Distan. Distan does have boost, but doesn't really have possession anymore. And some more back and forth play between the two teams.
Yeah, but Sussex are gradually taking all of these back boosts as they come up. KJ's doing well to get time here for his teammates who will have reset on the defence there, and Supreme might even turn this into offense push for UEA.
Yeah, they're certainly getting it on the go. KJ, that's great speed to get that onto the backboard. Dizzy giving this a bit of time, but Supreme wants to get it up the field quickly. That's not the best touch from TJ. It's going to put Distan in an awkward spot, but deals with it well. Now, double commit there from UEA. We're starting to see a few of these mistakes. Like you say, enormous bump onto the keeper there, but nothing again coming of it. UEA, they've had a lot more chances this game, but no kind of capitalization.
No, it's true. They've been looking the stronger team. They've been defending well. They've been pushing out well, but final product lacking so far.
So far, though, that was a good chance there for KJ in the air, but he couldn't get the connection. Would have been awkward to deal with for the Sussex defense. Now Distan has demoed Dizzy on the back. That's going to ruin UEA rotations for a little bit. It's going to make double commits like that happen. But Distan can only get the hit. Dizzy doesn't deal with that well at all. That was a good chance there for Sussex. Supreme up high off the wall. KJ maybe gets the flip. No, can't find the wave dash. Grabs the boost and gets the block, though, onto I'm Private. TJ. Great dribble. Supreme can only send that to all three of the waiting defenders there from Sussex. And still nothing convincing coming out. A lot of midfield play between these two teams.
Yeah, I like the idea from Supreme because while the launch downfield perhaps wasn't fantastically well thought through, he then realised that from there the best thing to do would be to follow that in and take the corner boost, which he did, which would have set up a good offensive push if his teammates had got through, so it was unlucky there.
Distan sends that high into the middle. KJ forced to use a lot of boost to get up to it. Now through Preem, that's a grade 50 going high into the other middle. But Distan's up oh so quickly. Massive demo from TJX there. That's going to leave a wide open net, but the bounce was awkward and Distan couldn't get to it. Should have been a good chance there, you feel like, for Sussex, but these things do happen. KJ, that's just unchallenged going into the net though. The UEA, 3.5 minutes into the game, find themselves the opener.
Yeah, it's fantastic work from UEA to defend that. They did it very calmly. It would be easy. I didn't quite catch who it was to follow up, but someone followed that back as the demo caught out the UEA defense, and they did very well not to just hit it as hard as they could, because if they'd have hit it much harder, it would have just bounced off the wall and straight out to a Sussex player. But as it was, it just dropped gently into the front of the box and enabled to clear. But it's been good to turn that into offense as well. They've taken the lead, and there's not much time left for that to change.
And I noticed as well, it was just pointed out by KJ in chat, Dizzy is having some internet issues. Or he was for a little bit. I think his ping is back down to normal now, but it would explain why he's not really contributed much to this game so far. Gonna have to get a nice touch here though, and can't connect with it. That's an awkward one. TJX was gifted the free shot, but he just put it high. That would have been the equalizer there for Sussex. I'm Private sends another one up high. Distan again can't make the connection. Being faked out by both of the defenders there from UEA. That's a slow roller towards the net from TJX, and saved quite comfortably by Dizzy. But that's two players up on the backboard. Distan, that's a lovely center. That's just going to be a free shot there for TJ. Supreme couldn't do a thing. Lovely play from Sussex.
God, I mean, Supreme very nearly did a thing. From that position to get even a touch on it is quite good. But, like you say, leaving that much open for the UEA defense is never a good sign, and it's cost them here.
This was looking like UEA's series to take home. Now it's looking like they're on the back foot once again. Distan, lovely low 50. If they can get that to the middle, Sussex. The demo was key as well on KJ, but good rotation. Bream sends that to the middle. Dizzy's there. Couldn't quite get to it fast enough, though. The bounce is going to be awkward. Distan's going to be reading that. And he reads the block as well on KJ, but it's just high over the net. I'm Private, that's a huge 50 into the middle. Nobody's challenging that. Distan keeps it central. I'm Private, not the best jump. TJX has to do well with this. Oh my, he almost doubled it in. I thought that was going to be the own goal of the century right there. It looked a bit ropey, but we have overtime.
You can imagine what the comms in the blue side would have been like there. I'll cast them on this established channel, but my goodness me, that gave everyone a fright. I think TJ will be calming down as we start this overtime. Oh no! A fantastic save just on the goal.
I think Dizzy thought there was probably a keeper to try and beat with some kind of clever touch. Unfortunately, there was not, and what a save. Now Sussex, if they take this game, then UEA have to be feeling so demoralised. That was a free net that they just squandered there.
Okay.
But that's another one given to them. KJ does the unthinkable. 10 games in a row for Sussex is as far as they will go. UEA deals Sussex their first loss of this evening.
Yes, they do, and we will be taking a slightly longer break between these two matches. The players are believing that their internet issues may have something to do with the server, so that's going to be quickly remade. And while it is, of course, gives both teams an opportunity to reset and prepare for what is now a best of three. Do you see anything that either team needs to particularly improve upon, or is it just individual mistakes?
Well, normally when there's a little break like this, I say that it's going to be bad for a certain team because, one team is slightly further ahead, they're slightly faster, they're a little bit more, warmed up.
Yeah.
I can't see anything between these two teams at the moment.
No, you're right.
There's not been very, very good clears from UEA, but they're playing around that very well. Their slow play is good, their passes are good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what either team could do to improve.
No, it's just been one-off little mistouches or, not specific parts of their play that have gone wrong so far for either side. And I think both teams can be pretty happy with how they've played so far. I mean, UEA, of course, first team to take a game off Sussex in 4 series, so that's an accolade in itself.
Yeah, and I mean, there has to be another loss. Well, another 2 losses for one of these teams.
Yeah, yeah.
So either team, they've had to climb a mountain to get to the state of victory. But I mean, Sussex, it has to be said, they're looking a little bit more at the solo plays. I think UEA, they've got Supreme kind of playing that solo man role.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fastest on the ball for UEA. Dizzy hasn't really had a chance to get involved, and KJ has been kind of the second man role.
Yeah.
Whereas Sussex have been looking more like a 3-man unit.
Yes. Yeah.
Distan is the player you'd expect to be pushing onto the ball a lot more,
Mhm.
being a little bit faster, but it hasn't really seemed that way at all.
No, and I mean, the thing is, normally we can say something along the line. The 3-man cohesion from Sussex is really working for them, and it's been fantastic, and that's why they have the lead. But the closeness of this series shows that actually both playstyles seem to be working fine for the teams that are playing them, and maybe it'll just take a change. Someone going for a few more bumps or demos, or Sussex trying to switch to the UEA style, or vice versa, to really decide this series.
I mean, we have seen Sussex so far coming out with probably the more demos, or at least the more effective demos, the ones that
Yes.
stand out more in the play. But it remains to be seen if UEA can do anything to try and mitigate that. And we're back into the games. Both teams seemingly
that's
happy
gonna
with
be
the
a
server.
start.
Oh, that was close from I'm Private. Just needed a bit more boost to get that double tap. Sussex having the first real chance of this game. Distan is going to find TGX, but just a little bit too high. That wouldn't have been an effective touch anyway, I don't think. Private sent it back into the middle. KJ, nice long clear, finds only Distan. Dizzy is up quickly, gets the challenge with TJ. I'm Private's going to send that behind Supreme. Supreme getting caught out in a rare situation. Gonna have to 50 that with Distan. KJ pushing up a little bit too far, I think, as Distan is not somebody you want to expect to lose challenges like that. Oh, and a mistouch there from I'm Private is going to take TJX out the game, but a huge hit from Distan. Nobody's actually on that from UEA. TJ! Where's he come from for that shot? What a goal from Sussex.
TJ was expecting a pass off the wall here, like he had earlier. Didn't get that chance, but he's taken the chance that he wasn't given incredibly well. And if they're going to score goals like that on a regular basis, I think UEA have cause for concern.
Cause for concern indeed. That's a terrific goal from TJ.
Oh,
And
he's
he's
confident
feeling
now.
good now. He's just feeling it. Going for that ceiling read. He didn't quite make it, so might be a harsh reminder to not get too over aggressive. But that's a lovely little 1-2 play between Distan and TJ once again. Almost caught off guard, the UEA defense.
Yeah, it's been all Sussex so far, but UEA first time this game they're getting control of boost, and Dizzy might make it count very nearly, and Sussex are at 6 and 7 here.
Yeah, they looked a little bit panicky there in that situation, and rightly so. UEA have looked threatening in the last minute. Terrific save from Distan there.
Oh no.
Not only to keep it out the net, but to keep it out of a threatening position afterwards.
Yeah, pushed it far into the corner. It's fantastic work. He's been, like you were saying in the break, you expect him to be the offensive push, the aggressive play. He's been a defensive rock so far this series.
And he has. And at 1-0 up, 2 minutes down, that's what they need right now. They don't need any kind of pushback from UEA. Distan tries to go for the fake on Supreme, but Supreme not buying what he's selling. TGX, that's not the best clear. It's going to find only KJ, the demo.
Ooh.
Oh, it was onto Distan. I thought it was Distan onto KJ. Dizzy, he's going to have a bit of time here in the middle. Scratch that. TJX comes flying in like a madman.
What
Supreme
touch.
gets the read off the backboard. I'm Private's up so quickly, but that's not a convincing hit. That's going to leave a free
Great
shot.
bump.
Distan is bumped. TJ was the last man, but manages to do just enough to keep it out the net.
Yeah, it was, wasn't pretty, but it did the job from Sussex, and this might be quite pretty distant. Finishing off a 3-man passing play to make it 2. Sussex looking commandingly in control in game 3.
Oh, KJ, Distan is in your head. That's just wonderful awareness from Distan to know that KJ probably wasn't in the most confident position there. All it needed was a tiny little fake, and a tiny little fake was what he got.
Yeah, and
Confident
KJ
2-0 there from Sussex.
sums it up in one word in the chat, does KJ. Ankles. That was ankles. It's really what it was, and not one he'll be wanting to live over and over again.
Absolutely not. And now 2-0 the lead. Sussex looking very confident at the moment and growing more confident by the second. They're keeping some pressure on. Bit of a double commit there, and a bump onto I'm Private is going to relieve some of that pressure a tiny bit for UEA, as KJ with no boost has to try and get that around I'm Private. Just through Bream at the back. Going to be another centre. Distan is on that first, but great block from KJ. And a nice second touch to alleviate any further pressure. TJ, no boost, has to try and find a nice hit off the backboard there. Cannot. Now, up to I'm Private. Again, not the best hit. That's going to leave a nice chance here for KJ.
Oh dear.
But can't do anything with it.
Not quite.
Ambitious jump there from Bream, I've got to say. Oh, that's a big fake from TJ. Distan only off the backboard, though. He's been finding the post quite consistently with a lot of these shots. But they're shots nonetheless, and they are pressure.
Yeah, they are, and, you know, Sussex are doing a good enough job at the moment. It's not been fantastic on all fronts. You know, I still think, to be fair, that the Kiel we saw in round 2 were the most commanding, but of course it's worth bearing in mind this UEA team are probably presenting a better opponent, and it's just the fact that they're not getting out with any boost. Again, here, look, all of them fairly low as they push forward and just stifling their attack before they can even start it.
Yeah, Sussex looking incredibly dangerous at the moment. Probably one of the teams to watch for tomorrow. But that's I'm Private, killed in the Sussex net. But the ball going nowhere dangerous. Distan doesn't quite have the read, but I'm Private's so quick to follow that up. KJ, only tap it to himself off the backboard. Good follow from Supreme. Dizzy with the fake, but doesn't have the boost to really capitalize afterwards. KJ on the back rotation. Oh, that's a big push up from Dizzy. I know they have to throw everything at this offense right now, but anything would be a little bit too late. 2-0 that game, a commanding victory from Sussex, and match point now for them.
Yeah, and of course at this point I think it's worth remembering that it's match point and it's day 1 tournament point. Sussex just need one more win to ensure that they'll be playing in the high echelons of tomorrow's games. Of course everyone gets another chance to play tomorrow, but the top 12 is where the big prizes are, and Sussex setting themselves up very well here.
Yeah, it's UEA still, they're looking strong.
They are.
They're looking a little bit panicky at the back, though, I think. They know what's at stake here, and they know that Sussex are on form. So they're wanting to try and shut down these plays before they happen, but in doing so, they're relinquishing a little bit of that togetherness they had as a team. And Sussex are just thriving on it.
They are. And, you know, it's not, of course, it's not a sort of final call for UEA at the moment. This is still only round 4. If they lose this, they'll go to 3-1. They'd want a win. But it is worth remembering that there is still the chance that a 3-2 would be enough, and with an early record like UEA's is, you know, only dropped 1 game in their first 3 series, to get through, they'll be looking at, you know, all that convoluted mathematics, your opponent records and things like that, and so it will be, you know, it wouldn't be the way you'd want to do it, but I think UEA can take solace from the fact that they'd be in a good place to try from the position they are now.
That they would indeed. And as the server goes down for maintenance, as it always does during these things,
yeah.
I can't remember the last time I casted a tournament without the server going down for maintenance.
No, I don't blame you.
It shouldn't be too long of a break. So again, nothing really affecting the speed of these teams or the cohesiveness of these teams. I think that UEA might be able to pull off one more game here and take us to a game number 5, but
would be nice.
It's a hopeful thought. Sussex have just looked stifling in their last game.
They have, particularly in game 3, but of course teams change, don't they? When the match is suddenly on the line, we've seen it before, and it's things like reverse sweeps get planted, you know, when teams suddenly they get 2-0 up, they get 2-1 up, they go, okay, we've done it twice, why can't we do it once more? But if you start thinking like that, it's a lot harder to do it once more, and UEA may also just turn around and start fighting more with their backs against the wall.
That they could, and we've seen it 3 times already today. Here we see UEA, no lives left, It's all or nothing at the moment. But they have a absolute mountain to surpass in the Sussex offense that is
Oh my.
already putting shots on Dizzy. What a save!
I mean, we'll give him benefit of the doubt. I'm honestly not sure how much he knew about that as he came careening down from the sky, but he'll claim it, so why not?
Regardless, it keeps the scoreline at 0-0. That should have been an easy opener for Sussex, but Distan, very well played there from KJ to keep him away from another mind game goal.
No more ankle.
The ankles, no more. Distan.
Falling for it.
Win, I'm private. Oh, he's up off the backboard. Oh, it's just out off the bar. Such a lovely attempt there. You have to feel cheated there if you are I'm private, the Sussex offense.
Yeah, it's a shame that one. Not often in threes do you get clear-cut chances off the backboard like that, and not often things like this happen, but here we are anyway.
It's a great counter-attack chance there for Sussex. And another one as the 50 from I'm private almost found its way to the net, but KJ had the good back rotation. Dizzy is going to send it up to him on the side. Nice return. There was nobody waiting for it, but unfortunately just a bit wide. And now TJ up off the ceiling, but with absolutely zero, is just going to have to relinquish that to Dizzy. But Dizzy, panicking, it has to be said, did not look comfortable there at all. Leaves Supreme in an awkward spot to get the block.
Oh, what a touch!
It's a very interesting touch to carry on that forward momentum. But the pass from TJ down to Distan. Distan, very heavy setting up touch. Somehow that's found its way to the middle and past KJ. Supreme and Dizzy both up for that. Terrible spot here for UEA. It's just KJ and he's on the front post. But somehow they get away without a score in that very awkward situation.
Sussex, I don't know. Sometimes they have fantastic ideas, and then other times ideas don't go to plan as that one sneaks into the left corner. I think Sussex will... They look back at some of the chances they've had, they'll question some offensive decisions they've made so far in this game 4.
It's the trap that almost everyone falls into. You feel good in offense, so you push everyone up to offense, and suddenly the ball is slowly rolling towards a net with no one to be seen. One goal ahead now for UEA, and that's very well played from KJ to keep that on the offense. TJ.
And although if memory serves, they did take the leading goal in game 3 and didn't get them very far. So, you know, it's certainly not all done yet.
Certainly not, especially with confident plays like this coming out from Sussex, although that's a lot of boost wasted there by I'm Private, and a big commit from that man at the back. Now Supreme wants to show him how it's done, but doesn't really find anything promising. Good backboard defense from Sussex, shuts that down quickly. Distan gets the nice 50 onto KJ. Dizzy has tapped that quite aggressively. Distan, all he has to do is read it. How has he missed that? That was such an easy read for Distan.
We've been saying all series rather, oh, Distan's playing a lot more defensively. Might be a good thing. He's had some shockers in offense so far. A couple of shots that really should just go flying in have just come careening off the post.
We've seen a miscommunication there between the Sussex players twice now. And that's just going to roll its way to open net. Distan can't keep it out. Lovely flick from KJ is going to double that lead from UEA.
Yeah, it's looking much more promising now. Half the time, double the lead, and Distan's done some heroics, but even for a man of his powers, that save was beyond him.
Just 103 seconds until we go to game 5.
Oh my.
Unless Sussex can do anything. Dizzy! Oh, how has he not managed to capitalise on that? I don't think he had any boost, but still, flip, man. Now Private is going to send that off the corner. It's awkward for Supreme, but he does well, has good speed. TJ takes that to the other corner, but great demo from Dizzy. It's going to alleviate that pressure. Private sends it straight back up the field. But the UEA players wisely choosing not to commit many people onto that distance. That's a lovely shot finding its way to the top corner, but read well by Supreme. Now TJ is going to send that up high off the backboard as well, and very well read from Distan. Sussex aren't out of this yet.
So awkward as the defending side here when a touch comes down off the waterfall in the corner like that. You just don't really have a chance if the Sussex player is there, and he was this time. Distan not clattering that one off woodwork, straight in.
And now just over a minute to go, a lifeline for Sussex. That could be another one as well. That was Supreme, but he does well getting that off of the backboard. And now Distan, oh, he's been baited out as third man. This could be a good chance for UEA, but nobody reads the ceiling bounce. Dizzy sends it back onto KJ. That's an amazing tap to get that to the backboard. Well read by TJ. Distan can only send that up the field to nobody on his team. TJ tries to get that to the middle.
That's all 3.
That is a big commit from Private. Distan
What a shot.
awkwardly forward there. What a save on that shot from KJ. And now Sussex have another chance pushing forward here. Private sends it off the backboard. KJ can only get the read to the corner. Distan's going to have the shot. Puts it wide. There were 2 players waiting from UEA anyway. And nobody from Sussex wanted to commit. 15 seconds now. And Private's been bumped. KJ delays the flick, but Distan pushes up quickly. Sends it off the wall. That's awkward, though. That's slow. That's 2 players up, though, for UEA. TJ is going for the bump. Dupreem's bumped early. Jumped early, sorry. Oh, that was so awkward there from UEA, but awkward from Sussex as well. And I thought that Sussex would take it. UEA take it to game number 5.
They do, and, you know, when it comes down to these kind of opponent record, game differential kind of things, you're setting yourself up well here. No matter what happens to UEA now, they're either going to be 4-0 and completely through, or they'll be 3-1 with another chance to win, and a +4 on their games for tonight, which, having lost, is pretty impressive. So, you know, it's looking good for both sides here to make it into tomorrow's matches.
I was going to say, having seen how they're playing at the moment and looking at some of the results that they've had from this evening, it would not surprise me to see either of these teams, or sorry, both of these teams up in that top 12 bracket tomorrow.
Definitely.
And both of these teams probably putting in a pretty good showing in that bracket tomorrow. I think we're looking at potentially top 6 finishes here.
I wouldn't be surprised. Certainly wouldn't be surprised, although, you know, I think it is fair to say UEA are the surprise ones here. Be interesting to see. Sussex, you know, they're looking good, but Sussex, they look good. That's Sussex, and that's how they walk. That's how they work. But be interesting to see if UEA can come out so hot tomorrow, or if this has just been a sort of flash in the pan moment.
Yeah, UEA, it's got to be said, didn't really have the best showing for their, well, compared to how they look on paper last series in the spring split of the NSE. But they're showing that they're not a team to be counted out. They've taken Sussex, previously undefeated, all the way to game number 5 in this series. And this game is absolutely huge. The winner of this match goes on immediately to that top 12 bracket tomorrow.
Yeah, it's crucial. And I mean, the way we're seeing UEA play at the moment, although they've just proved me wrong, the way we've seen UEA play this series so far, that excluded, would make me think that they must have had some kind of attendance issues or internet problems or something that prevented them from showing this in the NSE spring split, because this team would have been, you know, would have easily made National League the way they're playing at the moment. So either it's a fantastic one-off performance, or they've really just been playing like this all along.
Well, however it's gone down in the past, at the moment they are staring at a 1-0 deficit in the biggest game so far this evening. But they're not down and out yet, as Dupreem was after a nice double tap there. KJ giving Sussex a wide berth, but I'm Private manages to find a gap in that midfield. Dupreem gets it up high, gets a nice pop to himself, but just given a lot of respect by Distan. Waits for the ball to hit the floor. KJ's on that quickly, but I'm Private finds the nice block. TJ up quick, 50 off the ceiling. Distan sends it down the field to Dupreem. KJ shut down by TJ. This could be awkward here for UEA.
Oh, it's good work. And Sussex, again, setting up on boost as a point of preference, although they want to stop hitting each other if they want to lock down this offensive push. But the boost management looking good. They're chasing into the corners to get out of the rotation, and it's really going to slow UEA down.
Oh, that pinch is absolutely huge for Sussex. It's going to do basically their job of clearing for them.
Oh,
It's a lovely little flip. The second touch there from KJ caught off Distan completely. And that is not an easy thing to do. But Distan's going to send one straight back up to the backboard. Dizzy might not have this.
Yes.
That's going to drop awkwardly. But Sussex weren't quite ready for it. They're going to be caught here on the counter-attack. Distan high off the backboard. Dizzy's caught out. And now it's UEA who are on the back foot. Dupreem has to be wary of that player behind him. But it's a good send over to KJ. Bounce is going to be difficult to read, but TJ does so. Dizzy, good controlling tap to the side. Can't find the pinch. Distan is going to chuck this into the middle. Oh, almost the placement there from I'm Private. It's just going to leave TJ trying to keep it into the middle. Double commit there from UEA, though. And TJ is running just disruption on the side there, trying to get as many defenders as he can. And UEA scrabbling to get any kind of foothold in this at the moment.
I don't know what Supreme was doing there. I think he might have thought even he had more boost than he did. Either that or it was a very, very meta fake to convince the opponent he was going up for it, but he was never going to reach that.
It's a good tap to the side, though, and a good follow. Very closely by KJ. Distan. Oh, that's very smart. Takes KJ out the play. He was trying to read whatever Distan was doing. Can't get a good follow-up from the ceiling hit. That's a favourable bounce from Dizzy. I'm Private can only tap it back to him. Great pass over to KJ as well. It's just high off the backboard. Distan chooses to wait, and Supreme, I think, goes for the demo instead of trying for the hit. This is going to be awkward now for UEA, especially with reads on the bounce like that. Two players bunched up, almost nose to tail in that net. And I'm Private. Oh, it's looking pretty. Dizzy does a good job staying behind it, though. And TJ sent it to the middle. Distan, big 50. No boost here for TJ. It's going to be just Private trying to sort this out. TJ. Nice tap on the side. Supreme keeps it in the middle. And this is a little bit better from UEA, but still no solid chances coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was more promising, but they just still weren't quite getting permanent control of the boost, and just meant they couldn't fully set up, and they kept having to go back to mid and even their own corner at times, but still, it's better, and as the final minute ticks down, they'll need some more of that if they want to get something out of this series.
1 minute left on the clock, less than that actually now. And UEA need to find something, and they need to find it very soon. Otherwise, they will have to work that extra bit for that spot in tomorrow's top 12 bracket. But that's not very convincing there from Dizzy. Gets in the way of KJ's shot up the field. Distan is just going to send a lofting one to Supreme. 30 seconds. And UEA need to get a bit of steam going. That's a good clear. Big hit up the field. I'm Private is caught out. That's going to give a tiny bit of space to KJ. Distan, it's a weak hit, but Supreme pushed up a tiny bit too much. And that challenge from I'm Private is absolutely perfect. He's got space. If he's got the double, Dizzy can't get the save. 2-0 there to Sussex, and it's looking all but certain for them to be in that top 12 tomorrow.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic read there, and Dizzy unlucky that he didn't manage to get that save because the shot could have been placed higher, but still, we take those, will be the phrase going around in blue comms at the moment, and with 10 seconds left in the series, they'll be taking.
Yep, only 5 seconds. TJX on the ball. Nobody home for UEA. Almost the consolation goal, but just dropping on the goal line. Sussex in a very closely fought series. Take it 3-2. And commiserations there to UEA. They still are not out of this yet. I would still expect them to see them going through. But that could have gone either way, that series.
That really could have, and yeah, credit where credit's due. UEA played fantastically. To see some of the calibre of teams that Sussex have taken down, obviously some of the early matches were perhaps a bit of foregone conclusion, but to not lose a game in 3 series is testament to just how impressively concentrated the Sussex team have been, and UEA took them to the wire here. I mean, it wasn't until the final 10 seconds of this game that anything was wrapped up, so credit to them.
Absolutely. And it's got to be said, Sussex, they've earned this spot in the top 12 for tomorrow. I think when they're playing full squad like they are this evening with Distan, they just look unbeatable. And although UEA took 2 games off of them, that final game there wasn't much doubt once that first goal went in that they were hanging on to it.
No, it's true. It's true. While the games were close, Sussex did look fairly confident in their ability to control them, even at just a 1-goal lead. UEA didn't really get much boost management going. They didn't really have much chance to. Sussex were just on it already, and they were taking corners and taking mids just all the time, and it's impossible to set up any offense when you can't get control.
Absolutely, and I think we'll be sticking with that UEA side that we just saw for our 5th and final game of the evening. as we've been stressing, they need one more win to solidify their spot in tomorrow's top 12. So we're going to be seeing after the break if they can take down Loughborough for their spot in that top 12 game. It's going to be a good series, so we'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back one last time to the NSE Stay-at-Home series here on Rock Kingdom TV. I am surprisingly still Drumzors, and I'm still surprisingly joined by my good friend Atch.
Still here, can't get rid of me.
And after a very intense series that we saw in that round 4 between UEA and I've already forgotten Sussex, I thought that we'd be following UEA after that one, but there was a bit of a change up in the round 5 brackets.
Yep.
And instead, we are watching two teams duke it out for one of those last positions in the top 12.
Yeah, so we did have, as the Swiss bracket sort of pairs down into the localization as it's designed to do, obviously the chances of repeat matchups become higher, and the random seeding produced a couple of matches that we've already seen, or not us personally, that have already happened tonight. So to prevent that, they redid the seeding, which means we will be watching, like you say, some two new teams, Loughborough and the Rock Enteers, take each other on for a certain on qualification spot. And of course, the other team still might not be out of it just yet, depending on how the math shakes out on P2s.
Absolutely. And I mean, Loughborough, I have to admit, I've not seen them play for a little while.
Me neither.
But their roster has been through some serious times this season.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll be playing, obviously, that the solid player of Matt M, and he's been joined more recently by Meow and Stamina coming up all the way from the third team.
Yeah.
But Loughborough having an insane amount of high-level players at their university. I'm told that this Loughborough team is pretty scary, having taken down, I think they took down Portsmouth, didn't they?
Yes, they did at the Manchester Invitational, but, you know, invitationals are invitationals. This is the big boy stay-at-home series, so remains to be seen if they can manage to do anything to this Kent team, who, of course, did take the NSE Challenger bracket by storm, which may have surprised a few people watching back then.
Mm. But I think with both teams ready, they've been in it for a little while. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Born ready.
Born ready. Let's see who will be our final team this evening that we see go through to that top 12 for tomorrow. I can't wait. This is going to be a good series. But that kickoff almost slowly rolling its way into the Kent net. Matt M with a quick challenge. Stamina's up nice and quickly. Almost gets the double tap into the middle. Kiri takes it off the wall. That's a big tap off the corner and a massive bump from Meow. That's an awkward situation there for Kiri to deal with. Stamina's up quickly. Can't connect with the ball. Meow to himself off the corner. Gets the second tap, but it's not really threatening. Kent looking a tiny bit lost there in their own half. It's only been 25 seconds. Kiri sends that one nice and high. Manages to almost get the second tap off the floor. All-rounder. He's going to send that one up the pitch, but can't find the space. Tries to get the doink back into the middle. Leaves Microphone as last man on the clear-up duty off the backboard. That's a big demo. Might be something that we see Kent coming out. That is open. Lovely tap there, though, from Matt M. Just to get that away from pressure. And a bit of a pushback there from Kent.
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember of the Challenger bracket that I passed a couple of weeks ago, Rounder was my standout man. He was definitely the big surprise for me. I hadn't really seen much of him in the run-up to that night, but he played fantastically well, and I'll be watching out for him as part of this Kent team if they want to make a difference here against a very stacked Loughborough side.
Was he good at pretty much all aspects of gameplay, or was he...
you could say, in fact, he was a bit of an all-rounder.
Oh.
Right, see, look, we're 3 hours deep, the jokes still go, it's fine.
Yeah, forgive me that one, please.
Oh,
Matt M. Oh, he was given a good chance. I think he just had to try and keep that low, but he couldn't do so without getting too much power on it. Well, not enough power on it, sorry. That's a huge clear, though. Nobody's home, actually, for Kent. That might just find its way top corner. It doesn't, but Matt M's there with the read, and he finds that opening goal there for Loughborough.
Yeah, it was fantastic work, and a bit of a, cast a curse, perhaps, on my man all-rounder. Didn't quite read that off the backboard, but it was an awkward one, and, both teams started fairly solidly now that Kent seemed to have gotten over their early game shades.
Yeah, that's a good send to the corner and a huge whiff on the defense there from Kent. It's just Kiri at the back, and he's alone for a little while. Matt M had a good chance, but two defenders in the way of stopping that, and Stamina's just going to slam one off of the crossbar and in. 2-0 for Loughborough.
The placement on this was absolutely fantastic. The microphone jumped, and I mean, there wasn't much left to aim at there, but Stamina from that range, he doesn't miss those.
He absolutely doesn't. And with the power on it as well, there was no saving that at all. Almost sneaks his way around another one for a third Loughborough goal. Microphone can't carry on with the continuation though. All-rounder sends it back up into the Loughborough half. It was a nice tap, but well read by Stamina to shut that down. Meow has flipped a little bit early. Can't connect with the ball there. Matem takes it up the wall. He's dangerous in these situations. He's got the flip. It's on target. No, it's not. It's just off the post. But I think that's the first proper flip reset attempt we've seen this evening.
Yeah, it is. It's because the Durham defenders aren't playing. They're trying them about 400 times a day.
Well, Microphone now has the chance for a big clear. Straight over to All-Rounder, who uses a lot of boost and accomplishes not much. Meow keeps the ball in the Kent half. Matem gonna follow that himself. Very quick flip, but a little bit too quick. Can't connect with it. Meow again up off the backboard. Microphone's waiting for it there though. And the ball just living, well, was living for a while in the Kent half. But this one quickly looking to find its way back there.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there. I think Microphone decided he was going to leave that All-Rounder, but All-Rounder would have appreciated someone telling him that. And Loughborough pushing up again, and Kent look a little bit stuck on defence in this game one.
Oh, that they do, but All-Rounder's got boost. He's got the 50 with Meow. He just has to get this into a scoreable position, but that is not one of those.
Not
as
as
Kiri.
your RLCS caliber.
Which, I mean, these teams, a few of them have RLCS caliber players.
It's true. It's true.
Kiri, this is a tough spot though.
Ooh.
Oh, that was a little bit panicky. I think he'd lost track of where the goal was. But All-Rounder, to himself, can only send that into the middle. Kiri, it's a nice early jump, but again, a lot of boost used. Not much accomplished. Matem, straight off the backboard. Uncontested there. Meow's going to get a free shot. What a save from Microphone though. And a good continuation from Kiri is going to alleviate the pressure. Should have been 3-0, I feel, there for Loughborough.
Maybe. I think, yeah, they'll want that shot again because it certainly wasn't the best. They had plenty of time on it and just had a little roll of bouncing. That's well played from Microphone. Snipes the bottom right.
That's a cheeky goal from Microphone. There was keepers in the net. The pass was good from All-Rounder. But there was just no way any of them were getting to that perfect placement.
Yeah, on a postage stamp from Microphone there, you could not have found another ball-sized hole in that net to put it into. But now, it's all to play for. Just under a minute left, and Kent playing with a bit more authority now.
Yeah, Loughborough have to maybe shore up a few of these defensive issues, although not seeing very many. It's more Kent that looks scrabbly in defense. But they've been putting on a good offense so far. 20 seconds, they need to put on a little bit more. Stamina puts another hard shot just under the crossbar, but well read by Microphone.
Oh, big miss.
Matem caught out by the curve bounce. Kiri gets the 50. Matem's going to be there. He's going to play this for time, I think.
Reset.
For another flip reset. He had it, but it was just a little bit too close to the net. If Meow could get rid of this All-Rounder, that's not a convincing touch. Stamina's going to have a free shot just off the post. Loughborough, a commanding victory in game number 1.
Yeah, Kent kept it close, but after the jittery start they had, it was never going to end well for them. And Loughborough did spend a good 70% of that game on offense. And this one could be over a bit quicker than we'd hope if Kent don't shape up a bit in game 2.
That's the biggest disparity in shots we've seen in any game.
Oh my!
This evening.
Poor.
Kent had 1 goal from 1 shot. Loughborough had 2 goals from 15 shots. It's, I mean, there's 9 saves coming out from Kent, but that's still a lot more shots than you would like if you're on Loughborough going astray.
Definitely. I mean, 2 from 15. I'm not going to try and embarrass myself as a competition live on stream, but that's well under 20%, and they don't want to be shooting like that for the remainder of this series because, you know, if Kent are going to get clinical, 100% scales up quite well when you have more than 1 shot.
That it does indeed, and it's 13.32% by the way.
Oh, there you go. Is that your head or a calculator that's just
No, I
produced that?
never use a calculator. How dare
Oh,
you?
well then, yeah, clearly there's a real mathematician on this stream.
Somewhere under all of this. But anyway, I'm straying off the point. Loughborough, they never felt like the team on the bottom there.
No.
And the very few attacks that Kent had in that game did not feel convincing, and they were quickly shut down by a good Loughborough defense.
They were.
It's just, if they can get a bit more shot accuracy, Kent do not look like a confident defending team at the moment.
They don't, but it must be said that I did see this early in their series that I casted. When they were playing Kiel Challenger Finals. Defence didn't seem to be in their dictionary for the first 2 games. Which, they don't need to worry about that. They are very much a sort of you score many, we'll score more kind of team. But at the moment, it's only Matt M doing the scoring.
Matt M, what a terrific shot to himself up high. And just up so quickly with so much power and outstanding placement below the bar. Matt M showing why he has been such a driving force behind Loughborough for the last few years of the of UK University Rocket League.
Yeah, he's an establishment figure by this point, and placement like that will go a long way to explaining why. But microphone, no boost, means he's not going to get much far with that.
Kiri's got a good chance here, though. Almost finds the pinch just off the post. Unfortunate. Went under 2 defenders there from Loughborough. Microphone can't find the connection for the centre, but both Matt M and Meow are up for that clear. They managed to get it. All-rounder sends it up high, but Stamina's up quickly. To Matt M on the wall, who's just kind of waiting for it to drop to him. Again, they'll be looking to shave as much time off the clock as they can at the moment. Kiri. Nice fake, despite the fact he has 0 boost. Gets it almost around 2 players. Matt M into the middle, but to nobody. Meow has to rush up to that one. Can't get the best hit. All-rounder demoed underneath the ball there. Kiri shuts it down on the corner. Meow's going to have a good chance for a centre here. If Matt M can follow that up. Oh, he can, but not quite on target.
Oh,
and hang on, this is... Oh, Meow just manages to get back to it, but it's straight back to microphone on the bounce. Just caught napping the Loughborough defence there.
Yeah, Microphone did well, actually, because I think he's gone that way deliberately. It looked like he was waiting for a ball, knew that if Meow was going to get a touch, either it would go too far to the right, so he wouldn't have a shot anyway, or it would come off that post, and he anticipated it well. But Kent have been let in by a mistake. They haven't really created that themselves. A bit more self-sufficient offense to go forward on.
Oh, this is looking very good, though, from Loughborough. That's just confidence there from Stamina. He knows that he's got a man behind him. He knows that if he misses that, he's going to have Matt M just behind him to follow up with the shot as well. And he places that very well. Yeah,
I mean, all-rounder knew that as well, I think. Could probably have flipped in such a way to get a touch on it, but you're right, it would have just been a little drip of a touch out into the middle of the box for Matt M to just slide in and clean up for the easiest goal of his life. So all-rounder knew he had to get some kind of, maybe a floor pinch, or at least a convincing touch off to one side, but he didn't quite manage it.
Oh, this is awkward, though, from Loughborough. Stamina getting a little bit caught out of position by that whiff on the backboard.
Oh, another big miss.
Unfortunately, Kent couldn't really capitalise. That's a huge return there. Stamina's got to work for that clear, but he does. Manages to pick up the boost as well. He could be found here by Meow, but Meow not with the boost himself. Gets the fake, though. I don't think they realised he was boostless. Matt M's going to take control of that. Try and get that back into the middle. Stamina has to not get baited in here, but chooses not to.
Kiri.
Lovely touch from Kiri off the back of the car. And now Kent looking to wake up a little bit, but still being pinned back by this Loughborough offense.
Oh, yeah. Matt M doing a little bit of, what you do to a Sunday League footballer who tries a step over. You're not getting away with that one again. He reminds Kiri, no pre-flipping in this league. But it might be the only thing that will work. Kent have thrown quite a lot at this Loughborough defence, and it's all come straight back so far.
Yeah, they've already had 5 times as many shots. Never mind, make that 6! That's so unfortunate for the defender at the back there. It was a lovely effort by Kiri. And Stamina. Oh, you don't have to jump for that, sorry. Unfortunate there for the equaliser for Kent.
Well, fortunate if you are Kent, but if you're Stamina, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because You know Kiri's a good player, obviously. You must have at least seen him before if you've never played, and they did play, in fact, in the Challenger bracket. And he'll know to respect Kiri's shooting, but maybe don't jump, you're right. Maybe just wait and see what happens, because eventually things will pan out well if you're in blue.
Yeah, that's a fast response from Loughborough. Kiri, not the best touch, a bit of a panicked one. Probably could have left that for all-rounder over to his left. Sorry, his right. And that just left a free shot for Matt M, who is burying that all day, every day.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that Loughborough are giving up chances, but not giving up as many, and they're also creating chances of their own, which is something Kent have been living on scraps so far this series.
Absolutely good chance there for all-rounder, but can get no kind of convincing power. Microphone tries to find the corner, but finds the backboard. That's going to be awkward for Kiri, but he manages to get a good hit, and Meow has to be up nice and quick to get to that.
Great
Oh, but look
pass.
at the passing play between Loughborough. That's going to bounce down awkwardly. Meow was a little bit too far forward. That would have been a delightful passing goal between Loughborough, but still on that one-goal lead. Not really anything threatening coming from Kent at the moment.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, hard to tell. I think equal parts, Kent not quite getting it right, and Loughborough just getting it very right on opposite sides of the ball here. And, you know, I wouldn't like to be playing the team in blue at this moment.
Oh, stamina, look at that shot. The placement from that much height. I mean, Matt M, sorry, it's an unfortunate pitch from all-rounder, but look how quickly stamina was up and how well he's managed to put that under the bar.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, coming into this spring split, bit of an unknown quantity. Certainly the only one here that you would never have expected, because he came in saying in the intro to the C team at Loughborough, which shows how frighteningly deep their pool of talent is. But he's also had a fantastic glow up, as it were, since he got onto PC, and it's showing here in his 18%.
Yep, and 10 seconds left on the clock. Loughborough looking very, very strong at the moment. They're going to be only one game away from securing their spot in tomorrow's top 12 bracket.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you know, this Kent team have performed well, but getting 3-0'd in your final series will not do the maths any favours if you want it to work out well at 3-2. So they want something, even if they can just get one, every little bit will help them at this point. If they're looking for favourable results elsewhere, they may as well try and make their own as favourable as.
Absolutely. And all they have to do at this point is just keep doing what they're doing to Loughborough.
Yes.
It's a trap you can fall into where you feel ahead, so
Yeah.
you feel you have to compensate by being a little bit more defensive, and then that playstyle shift into something you're not as comfortable with is all it takes to give up a game to a team like Kent, who, although they're down in the series scores, they've been putting up a good fight in both these games.
They have, and from what I've seen of Kent this season, you go into a defensive play style, they will love it. You give them an inch, they will take a mile. This team, they will attack very much if they're given the chance. And I think the fact that their offense has been so toothless is more of a testament to how well Loughborough have controlled the game than it is anything about Kent.
Absolutely, yeah. If there's one lesson that Loughborough can learn at the moment, it's that Kent should not be a team to sleep on.
Definitely not.
However, with 2 games to their name, Loughborough only need the one more victory to send themselves through. Kent only have this life left. They have to win this game, or they'll be entering the lower bracket tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, this is the kind of time where fear will set in as a player and you start to worry, because of course you would, it's a high pressure situation. Kent, you know, one thing they can't do now is, like you were saying, Loughborough shouldn't, nor should Kent sit back and panic and try not to concede, because against a Loughborough offense like this, you will concede.
Oh, that's a massive hit from Stamina. Gets it
Oh,
from an
the
awkward
boost.
spot all the way back down to the other side of the pitch. Madam gets that boost. Meow's got full as well. That's going to bounce down. Doesn't have the read on the curve. Going to get another chance. Matem, he's following it though. Oh, Kiri just gets there in time. Stamina, he's going for the Doomsday dish, and he scores that. Confidence galore from Loughborough at the moment.
Yeah, they're abusing this. all at the moment, Loughborough are. I mean, in that first defensive push of this game, they'd used it twice, and it's just a nightmare to defend against. When the ball comes down like that, you either hit the crossbar trying to come out for it over your own goal, or you're just not quick enough because you're never going to beat an on-rushing attacker already in the air.
This is exactly where you don't want to be if you're Kent. You do not want to be on the back foot when you're already on another back foot in terms of games. They have to ramp up the pressure now in order to get anything from this series. Meow gets the hit off the backboard. Stamina is there once again. And he's really been a shining player for me this series as Stamina.
Yeah, he's been fantastic, you know. Saying just in the last game how impressed I was by someone we haven't really seen in this, you know, who's new this season to the C team and risen through the ranks remarkably quickly, which drew some surprise at the time, but seems like a very sensible decision now as Matt M rolls one the length of the pitch.
Kent falling into that classic trap. We need a goal. Send everybody forward. And there it is, the slow roller into the bottom corner. Great eye from Matt M to notice that that net was just wide open.
Yeah, and great placement as well, because I think had he put that a bit more central, the Kent defenders might have got back to it, and Stamina, huge miss might cost them, but Meow gets back just in time.
Yeah, not the best kickoff from Loughborough, but absolutely unpunished. Speaking of unpunished, Meow should have been putting that one in. Madam tries to spike it down from off the backboard, but can't quite find it. Now, this is another good chance here for Loughborough. Madam puts it high off the backboard. Meow's following it to the top corner, and you just can't stop them at the moment. They're on a roll.
God, this team is frightening. Look at this. I mean, Meow, there's not even half a ball's width between that and any part of that goal's woodwork there. That is frighteningly stylish placement there in a situation of high pressure.
Absolutely. Like I say, they're feeling good. They're feeling confident. They are looking like a team to come up in that top 12 bracket tomorrow. But Kent still have some work to do, and it's not over yet. Microphone just gets beat out in the corner there. Awkward tap back, but well covered from Kiri. Now it's going to be Microphone once again on the ball, over to the other side. All-rounders waiting. He's going to smack that one high off the backboard, but Matt M up freakishly quick to get to that one. Big clear now. Might find another awkward situation for Kent. Lovely delayed flip from Microphone, just to get rid of the danger on that. Meow sends it high into the middle. Microphone. A little bit of a whiff, but recovers nicely, tries to get the shot off. That was a good chance there for Kent, but it's the first one we've really seen this game.
Yeah, it's true, and, you know, time is beginning to not be on the Kent team's side here. They need 3 in just under 2 minutes, which isn't the kind of position you want to find yourself in against a frightening Loughborough offense.
Oh!
This. My goodness.
Stamina, that was an inventive shot. And I think that's what you need in situations like this. It's just a little bit of unpredictability.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, call that. How's that for unpredictable? Loughborough get the clear. Yeah, with 0 boost, won't be able to follow this. Matt M's pushed up. As a Stamina, that's going to be a free shot there for Kiri. And that is the first step on the ladder that they need to climb.
Yeah, it's true. You know, minute and a half, 2 goals sounds much better than 3 goals in 2 minutes. And if Loughborough are going to leave things open like that, Kent will take those opportunities.
Yeah, it's a good kickoff. Kiri takes possession. Manages to get under Matt M and the bump as well, but all-round has been baited up a little bit almost. Has to get the block onto this, does so, but nobody from Kent's going to be there first. Actually, that's a big backflip from Meow, and it's going to be into Stamina. That's going to be another opener for Kiri. And just like that, it's a goal's difference between the two.
Yeah, well, you know, all it takes is 2 little miscommunications, double commits, and just sort of anything like that, and Kent aren't going to let those slide by, so a bit more tense in the final minute.
Yeah, Loughborough are looking a little bit shook now. This is the first real danger position they've been in all series. But with a minute to go and still a goal in it, they are on top. But Kent, they're coming through with a second wind at the moment. All they need is 1 more goal to put themselves back into this game. That's going to go up high. Big bump on net, on Matt M in net. But Nothing to come from it from the Kent half. That's a good chance there for Meow. The 50 is kind, but what a
Good charge.
continuation touch there. That's awkward. This is going to be really difficult to play by Stamina, but he's done that so well. He stayed grounded behind the ball.
Yeah, did brilliantly leverage the Fennec there to just stuff any balls that the Kent lot tried to find in through the gaps. That might be it. All-rounder hurls himself at it, but can't quite make the difference.
Oh, Matt M, that key player is demoed. The time is ticking away, but the ball is still in a danger area. Matt M takes it to the corner. Kiri's going to be up there first. Needs to get this to the middle. All-rounders up
Rounder.
quickly. It's up off the
Oh.
backboard, but nobody's there. Loughborough take the series 3-0, and we will see them tomorrow in the top 12.
Yeah, we will. And, this top 12 will gradually take shape. There'll be some significant maths to do behind the scenes to figure out who fills it out. But I don't think Kent can, they can hold their heads high. They didn't play badly in that series at all. It's just Loughborough just looked completely unbeatable. And, they did well in their early series. Kent dropped a game in their first 3 wins. So the head-to-head record could favour them, and they might sneak into the top tier of tomorrow's games.
That's very true. But, I know we'll be seeing Loughborough there, and considering they dropped a series earlier in the day, they're looking remarkably strong.
They are. They did drop it to Lankers. I think it's
That's
worth
understandable.
mentioning. Yeah.
Our current champions of the NSE.
Yeah,
so,
if that's your only loss, I think you can call yourselves pretty happy with your evening's performance.
absolutely. But with 5 series down,
Yes, speaking of an evening's performance.
3-0. Yeah, it's been a long one. It's been emotional.
Yeah,
But-
good fun.
That concludes all of our gameplay for this evening. Let's see if we can have a look at some of the other results making their way through into the top 12 tomorrow.
Yes, I think, like I said, there will be significant workings out to be done for those final teams, so they might have a little bit of a wait to figure out whether or not they've made it. Of course, your standard teams, your Lankers, your Portsmouth, they're all through. Sussex, of course, we saw Clint's promotion earlier. Don't know how they did in their final game against Bath. That
No,
result
hang on.
hasn't come through.
Lankers, I think, aren't through.
Are they not?
No,
Oh,
Lankers A, they dropped
them.
round 4 to Portsmouth Paladins, and they dropped round 5 to KPA.
Wow. So Lankers, our current NSE champions, are going to be relying on some nice numbers elsewhere to get them through to the top 12 tomorrow.
Well, they had 2 3-0s and a 3-1 in their first 3 rounds, so could
Not
be going
bad.
against them, maybe. It's not bad. But still, that 3-1 might go against them,
Yeah.
considering some of the other teams they'll be up against.
Yes, and big teams like the UWE Sea Stags, they're on 4-1, so they've made it, but there have been some surprise results throughout. We saw our Reggie Belafonte boys come through, not just beat the Sea Stags, actually sweep them cleanly in round 3. So, shows the depth that NSE's achieved in the past couple of series, that teams like this can just show up on the day and do fantastically well.
And Arctic Foxes as well. Another one of these surprise Liverpool. I think they're Liverpool John Moores are Arctic Foxes.
Arctic Foxes are Liverpool proper. I think they'll correct you on that if I'm not quick enough.
I apologise.
Galsport's LJMU, but Arctic Foxes are through.
Yeah, 4 games to 1 in a
Yeah.
3-2 series to UOB Just Smile. So,
Yes,
been some great results for a few different teams that maybe would have relied on that game difference to get through.
yeah, there will be a lot of teams, in a Swiss bracket. Everyone has to end up on some kind of win-loss differential. No, there's no randomness about it. There will be a fixed number of teams on 3-2. I'm not going to sit here and try and work it out, but it's a few. And it's a few more than will make it through to the top 12. It's only the upper echelons of 3-2 scorelines that are going to make it through to tomorrow's matches.
Absolutely, yes, it is indeed. But we're just waiting on the last few results to trickle in that will decide who our other teams we'll be seeing in the top 12 are. But it's been a good day for Rocket League. We've seen some fantastic series.
Amazing work from all of the teams that played today. I think it's fair to say everyone's done fantastically well, and more importantly for us, even if they haven't done fantastically well, it's been bloody entertaining to watch.
Yeah. And I mean, props to being one of the first streams that's finished ahead of schedule.
Yes, look at that. Look at that. That is absolutely world-beating stuff. Get 5 best of 5s done in just under 4 hours. We've done very well.
And I just want to throw a massive thank you to Kizza on production here.
Of course, couldn't have done that without him.
The man in the background. He's very, very helpful in pretty much everything that he does.
Yeah.
And also over to Cenarius, who you don't have a
Can't
UK
run
Uni
a
Rocket League
tournament.
team without Cenarius, yeah.
Definitely not. So, yes, someone's going to have to do all that maths, staying up long into the night to figure out which 3-2 teams it is. I don't envy him that, but we all owe him one for doing it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I've been Drumsaws. I've been joined here by Atch. I think that'll do us for today, but tomorrow, we've been talking all day about that top 12 bracket. Tomorrow we've got my very good friends Princey and Killsync bringing you the absolute cream of those 12 teams, duking it out for that top spot and the grand prize of a whopping... Let me just double check the amount. 250. Ooh.
250, yeah. Not bad. Don't know why I'm sitting here. Now they're playing.
I'm an old retiree. I wish I could play, but can't get anywhere near.
I couldn't get anywhere near the top 12. Tell you that for free.
And of course, Monster Plays will still be in effect for both today and for tomorrow. So any of these amazing goals that you see, and I'm sure you'll see some tomorrow as well, feel free to clip them and send them in.
Yeah.
But, yep. As I say, I've been Drumsaws, joined by Ash. Thank you very much to everybody who's tuned in this evening. And please tune in tomorrow to see what I'm sure will be an exciting finals.
Indeed it will. Thanks for watching.